Welcome to Hey Assbutt.
Welcome back.
Good way to start that.
Good way to start it. In between the sounds of chips,
Yep.
we've got Lay's.
We're not sponsored by Lay's. In fact, I don't
We're
even
not.
like them that much.
Really? Let's talk about chips for a minute then.
Yep.
Let's say you're in heaven
Okay.
and you meet God, and God's like, "Are you feeling a little peckish? We're gonna go on a tour of heaven, but I want to make sure everybody's like eating first, because you can still get hungry in heaven."
Right.
And he's like, "Take any of these chips. They're the best chips in the universe." What kind of chips are they, Travis?
Okay, I was actually joking as a way to like make sure that we don't get hit. For,
Oh,
like,
they're
fake
Lay's? Oh,
sponsorship.
they are
It actually
Lay's?
is like classic Lay's. Yeah.
Wow.
Classic Lay's or tortilla chips from the restaurant El Phoenix
Okay.
in Texas. Like people go to that restaurant specifically, like not even to sit down and eat the food. They will just sell you a bag of chips.
Wow.
That's red.
That's cool.
Super good.
I would have said blue tortilla chips or Funyuns.
Are Funyuns chips?
Funyuns?
They are. Okay.
They're chipped to something.
They're junk food that comes in a bag.
Okay.
That's chips.
Here is
This is where we find out that Travis or Ben also thinks beef jerky is chips.
I mean, it's chips of beef.
It's chips of beef. You know what? I set myself up and I watched
but
you guys knock them down.
Here's the ultimate question: are pretzels chips?
Ooh.
No.
Ooh, this is. Wait a minute. Are we about to get into is a hot dog a sandwich fight?
Yeah, a little bit. Pretzels,
Okay, for the record,
pretzels-
yes, a hot dog is a sandwich.
true neutral.
Yeah.
You can't be a true neutral on this question, Travis.
No,
You
true
have to have an opinion.
No, that's the alignment chart of sandwiches. A hot dog is a sandwich.
Oh, okay. There
Yeah.
we go. That's fine.
But no, what was I saying?
Are pretzels chips?
Are pretzels chips? No, they are not. Chips.
I agree.
Chips are thinly sliced and thinly portioned of something, whether it's weird fake onion bits or weird fake potato bits or just potatoes or corn, mashed up corn.
Yeah. Corn
It's
chips.
Corn nuts.
thinly made and fried.
Yeah.
Pretzels are baked.
Yeah.
And they aren't even just baked. You also have to boil them
Yes.
with some baking soda to get that waxy
Yeah.
waxy finish.
So
That
because pretzels, before pretzels came crunchy and in a bag, they were almost always
At a bakery.
a bakery thing.
Right. And this is chips, I will say, American style.
Yeah.
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 We're not talking about French
Yeah, we're not talking
fries.
about fucking French fries. You across the pond
you
motherfuckers.
British people. Go back to your watercress sandwiches
Go back
and
to your
your-
wrong side of the road.
and your chips
Yeah.
And your fish.
and your fish and chips
And your bangers and mash and whatever else you have.
and your Yorkshire puddings.
And your fannies.
Actually, leave the Yorkshire
Whoa.
puddings. Wow. We have fannies too, you know.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Do you know, like, you know the difference between American fanny and British fanny, right?
I'm aware of it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. And you're wrong, Fanny. I'm sorry. I went too far.
Cross the line.
But
The history of my kind.
okay, to go back to my answer. Classic Lay's, because flavored chips are bullshit.
Okay, this is where I have to disagree.
All right, this is the hill I die on.
Yep,
Oh.
there it is. There it is.
Yeah, I'll fucking say it. Fiery, like the sweet and hot chips, barbecue, right?
See?
Barbecue
Sweet
chips.
heat
That's
barbecue
what
chips.
everyone tells me. That's what everyone tells me, and I do not like those chips
Why?
And you're wrong.
because they're gross. They taste weird.
Okay, if you eat like a billion of them, yes, they taste weird. But
No, but even
If
like
you eat a
I'll
billion of
try
any
one.
chip, it's gonna taste weird.
I just think that flavored chips are a little over the top.
all right,
I mean,
fair.
that's you, boo boo.
Yeah.
Because
No.
if I were to answer that question, if God was like, "Hey, are you feeling hungry? You want a snack? We have a selection of chips here," I would say, "Cool. I'll take the Golden Flake Sweet Heat Barbecue, please." That is my favorite chip in the world.
Okay, I have another question, which may alter my answer.
Okay.
Are pork rinds chips?
Ooh.
Because
Yes.
they do
Yeah.
fit the description I just said. Thinly sliced, fried.
Yes.
If
And I will
Funyuns are
say
chips,
this,
Pork rinds are chips.
It's even in the name. It's chipped off of something.
Yeah.
A pretzel is a whole.
Yeah.
I guess you could have pretzel chips, which is like you take a pretzel and then you slice it thin and then you fry it.
Because, so...
But,
this is what alters my answer. Because I will take a bag of pork rinds over any chip any day.
What flavor?
Here's the thing, is chicharrones.
Okay. All right. Damn. All right. That's the the right answer of flavor of pork rinds there.
I mean,
Damn.
that's just the name for pork rinds, is chicharrones. Can be flavored any way you want because you can put any seasoning on them.
Fair enough.
I like a little sprinkling of cayenne pepper on there.
Have you had chicharrones?
no.
Oh, do you like pork rinds?
I tried them for the first time a year ago.
Oh,
so,
really? Did you get them from Tim's Cajun Kitchen?
No, I got them
have those-
from Verschow, actually. He had some homemade... Our friend, John Verschow, who we affectionately call Verschow, had some homemade pork rinds in a bag, and as we've previously established on this episode, if you put something in my hand and tell me to eat it, I will. It's kind of amazing I haven't been poisoned yet. Or at least knocked out. Any day now. But the point is that he had some homemade pork rinds and was like, here, you want to try these? And that's the first time I've ever tried pork rinds.
Were they homemade or did he buy them from Tim's?
I mean, they were in a plastic bag and he said they were homemade.
He might have gotten them from Tim's.
Well, they were also, not as crispy as I expect pork rinds to be.
Oh, yeah?
They could be bent.
Oh, yeah, no. Pork rinds are malleable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
normal
Yeah.
then? They were huge pieces.
All right.
I
so
could only eat a piece. It was super rich.
Yeah.
You know the difference between like pork rinds and chicharrones? Like if you get like really good ones, all right, chicharrones have meat in them.
Yeah.
Well, goddamn.
Like imagine, have you ever had what is it? What is it? The kind of like the fajitas you get with the pork. You know what I'm talking
Pork fajitas.
There's a name for it. It's like because it pretty much tastes just like it's like a Mexican or Latin pork roast.
Oh, like a, I know what you're talking about, because they have that option at Chipotle.
I'm about to do that phone a friend option. Well, it's 9:30. They're asleep. No, but our listeners know what I'm talking about. If we set this out, or actually, you know what? Fuck it.
We'll put it in the show notes.
I'll ask
Okay,
Siri
Google.
about it.
Don't worry about it, Travis. We got it.
Pork fajitas.
Like sort of like a Mississippi pot roast.
Let's see here.
If y'all haven't had Mississippi pot roast, get it. Honestly, the best thing about the South is the food.
Yeah,
Damn right.
for real.
Yeah.
Carnitas.
Oh,
carnitas.
yeah.
All right.
Carnitas.
It's
yeah.
basically that meat inside of a pork rind, and it's heaven in its fried natural habitat.
All
Yeah.
right.
It's
Well, I mean, I'll try
amazing.
anything once.
Yeah,
So-
also, if
Except
you're going for a
salsa
low
dancing,
carb
but that's neither
diet,
here nor there.
if you're trying to go for a low carb diet, eat some pork rinds.
Yeah.
0 carbs.
Yeah, for real.
They're fried to hell, though, so that can't be healthy.
I
right?
mean, they're not the healthiest, but they are carb free.
If you're trying to cut out carbs.
Kind of like how corn chips are gluten free.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Ugh. Can I talk about a pet peeve of mine?
Yes.
Because
Sure.
it relates to gluten-free. All right, so first of all, I want to say this. This, gluten-free craze has been very helpful for my celiac pals out there, and
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that.
Go them.
And I'm super happy for them. They now have more options than they've ever had before, and that's great. I found some fucking cheese the other day that was labeled gluten-free. And I was like, Kroger, what the fuck are you doing?
There's no gluten in cheese.
Yeah, if there's gluten in cheese, something is wrong with that cheese. What did you do?
Actually,
Knead it? Like,
that
what's
reminds
happening?
me. Keep going. I'm going to grab something out of the fridge.
I just,
Is it going to be
hate
gluten
that
free?
so much. Because the reason why they labeled it as gluten-free is because it's the fad.
Yeah.
Because there are people out there who don't know what gluten is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bitch, unless you were eating some bread, you should not be concerned with gluten.
Have you seen the chocolate that is gluten free?
No, I haven't.
Well, chocolate has flour in it, right?
I don't think a pure chocolate bar does.
No.
I think it's just milk. Like, if you're getting milk chocolate, it's like milk or cream, some
Yeah.
dairy,
But yeah, no.
and like
anything,
the cocoa.
Anything that doesn't come from the bakery or the bread aisle that says the words gluten free,
Yeah.
I will smack a bitch.
Well, and even like some bread products like don't have as much gluten as others because you have to work to gluten, for those of you who don't know, is the protein structure in wheat and other
Yeah, so I'm glad you're talking about this because I bought this beer specifically
Because it's
because I thought it
gluten-free?
was hilarious. It's called Zero Mission, brewed with malted barley specifically crafted to remove gluten.
Yeah.
Crafted to remove gluten.
Yeah, out of beer.
It's like unsweet tea.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna see what it's like.
Trying that gluten-free beer.
Oh, that was Ben. Did you hear that? That was such a cool fucking
That was
noise.
a solid noise.
Yeah, good
It's
good
almost
noise.
as good as this.
Can I try a sip of that?
Yes, but I'm gonna try it first.
Okay, go for it.
We're just gonna pass it around the table.
Oh,
Can you taste the gluten-freeness?
yeah.
I mean, malt barley has a very specific flavor.
Yeah.
I'm either gonna like this or I'm gonna hate it.
Oh, that's a taste.
It.
It's very bitter.
I'll say what I think it tastes like after Ben's done. It pretty much tastes like a Michelob Ultra Light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Which
mean,
isn't good for your craft beers.
Have you ever had O'Doul's?
yeah.
That's what this tastes like.
It tastes like O'Doul's.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
I'm gonna tell a little story about myself right quick.
Go for it.
All right, when I was a kid, you ever seen those drinks that were not for kids, but they looked amazing?
Oh, yeah, like the Mike's Hard Lemonade and
Yeah.
all that shit.
All right, so specifically the last
80s
time
first alcohol.
the last time I ever did this, because I didn't know it was illegal until the last time I did it.
Oh, jeez.
Because I would see how far I could get with it. And the last time I did it was the furthest I ever got. I would be like, I would order one. Because I was a tall kid.
Right.
Yeah.
I could pass off for like 18, 19.
And honestly, I can't imagine you without facial hair. So
Right at this point, yes. But, and so I was 8 or 9. And we were at Joe's Crab Shack. And I don't know if either of you have ever been to one, but they used to have this rainbow margarita. Mm-hmm. It was like this stacked flavored drink of like, it was like a blue, red, white, and green, other colors I specifically remember. And I ordered it because we were up in Tennessee for something that my sister was doing. And the guy had it on a tray. Uh-huh. And then comes back and like does the lean. Where it's like he's physically questioning how old I am. And he just leans down and looks at me and he goes, "You got any ID? Any identification?" And I just look at him. I'm like, "Dude, I'm 9. And he just starts laughing his ass off. He's like, "No, I'm sorry, dude."
See, that
So-
just goes to show you can buy alcohol whatever age you are as long as you're confident about it.
Yeah.
or a tall 9-year-old.
Yeah.
So I actually worked as a server, and I did once serve somebody who was underage accidentally because they were there with their girlfriend who was turning 21. And I was like,
So like they were 20
and I
and
just
the girlfriend was
assumed,
21.
yeah, and they ordered bottle service, which is where you bring out a bottle of wine to the table with the amount of glasses as the people, and I didn't
Right.
check his ID. And I was like, it was like my first year of serving, and I was like, I'm about to be arrested. I'm going to go to jail forever because I served with this 20-year-old.
No.
But nah, it was fine. I just took it away from her. I was like, sorry, gotta take this back.
Yeah. See, that's why I liked when I worked as a server, it was mostly at a country club where everyone was like 45 and older.
Right. Oh, you know my name.
Yeah. So I didn't have to
I have
worry
a
about
membership.
that. You only had to watch out for some of their kids sometimes,
Yeah.
but usually, like, we had all their ages on file, so
Right,
it
so you
wasn't
could
even
just
a
check.
problem.
Yeah, there you go. I have a question for you guys.
Uh-huh.
Smack me with it.
Mike's Hard Lemonade reminded me of this. When y'all were underage,
You asking if we ever snuck a beer?
no, because I already know the answer to that question. It's
Yeah, it's a
yes,
few.
Yes,
definitely
yeah,
for Ben.
For sure.
Yeah, and definitely for Travis
Yeah,
too. I
you've
know
heard
about your parents.
Yeah, you've heard that story.
I hate to cut your question, but it's
You're
a quick
cutting it
one.
now.
I'm sorry. When you were like
You
way underage, did like a grandparent or a parent ever be like, "Hey, don't tell the other one about this," and just give you a drink?
Yeah,
yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so it's not just me. All
I
right.
feel like it's a grand American tradition.
Yeah.
Damn right. So your question?
I mean,
I'm sorry.
sometimes it was a parent. Not like a full drink. I should clarify that. But they'd be
Yeah,
like, you
yeah,
want
yeah.
a sip of mom's
Yeah,
wine or beer or whatever?
it would be apparent that it was a parent. So what was your question?
Okay, so did you guys feel like when you turned of age that you were like, oh, I drank that alcohol when I was underage and I don't need to drink it anymore?
Yeah.
Because that was me and vodka for a long time.
Yeah.
And also me and Mad Dog to this day.
No,
I never have to drink Mad Dog again, and I'm putting my hands up to heaven for that.
The first beer I had underage was Heineken.
Whew.
And so I could never go back and drink. Like it's just that it's weirdly nostalgic, the flavor, but I won't order one. Never.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I've never bought Mike's Hard Lemonade, but I have drunk Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good stuff.
I mean,
I'm
if
sure
I'm at a
it's
party
delicious,
and
but-
someone's got Mike's Hard Lemonade, I'll drink it, but I'm not going to buy it for myself.
When my dad is out of town for a few days, me
Yeah.
and my mom will we will go and get the collection of Mike's and just roll through that son of a bitch.
Nice.
Like we'll get done and there will be like one or two left of like the plain ones.
Nice.
But yeah,
You know what else? I've never bought a wine cooler, but I've drunk a wine cooler.
Yeah.
you and me both.
And not because a friend of mine had one. If you get what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's common in American households for there to be two fridges.
Yeah.
One that's in the house,
Yep.
and the other one that's not in the house.
Yep.
In the garage.
Did your dad ever make a kegerator?
Oh, cool. What?
He didn't make a kegerator, but he had a friend who like had his own personal kegerator.
That's the answer I expected, to be honest. Your dad seems a little bit classier than that.
No, but what we did have is for a while we bought it at Sam's. It was a soda machine.
Yeah.
And you could load it up with cans or bottles, and you would hit the button, and it would roll out. And my parents, y'all already know this, my parents would have this big, it was a big tradition in our family. My grandparents started it 53 years ago now.
Goddamn.
And we'd always have this big party on New Year's Day, watch all the football games, and my grandmother and my dad, they'd make food, chili, it'd be a chili bar, and it was BYOB. And so my dad bought this soda machine, or like drink dispensing machine, loaded it up with beer, and it was like, this is the Bud Light button, this is the Mick Ultra button, this is the Coors Light button. It was fucking going.
All right, so that's hype as fuck.
Yeah.
All right, but whenever my family gets together, it's more or less like whoever brings the beer, there is a kind of beer. Whoever buys the beer buys the kind of beer. They don't give a fuck if you drink Michelob, Coors, what have you. We're bringing Miller Lite, and that's what you goddamn drinking.
Oh no, yeah, we do the same thing because if like I cooked with my uncle and my dad and a few of his friends at the barbecue contest this year, and I brought Yingling, and I brought a 24 case of Yingling, and everyone drank Yingling.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
See, that is, my mom, okay, so my parents are divorced, right? And I don't remember a lot of parties before the divorce, but I remember the parties that happened after the divorce. And
Do tell.
my dad, I mean, he'll have a beer, but he's not a drinker,
Yeah.
really. My mom,
Goes hard in the paint.
she can party like it's 1983.
Hell yeah.
Which is when she was coming of age. So, she had a friend who was a sommelier, whose job it was to sell wines to restaurants around town.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So for my 18th birthday, one of my birthday presents was a very nice bottle of wine.
Oh,
That's
shit.
red.
We are a wine family, but my
Nice.
mom, we used to have like a New Year's Day brunch party,
Yeah.
and we used to, when I had Thanksgiving, on the years I had it with my mom, we would have a Thanksgiving party and we'd invite all our friends. And I think we also had a Christmas Eve party too, but I don't quite remember. But she's a really good hostess, so our fridge was always full of like Sam Adams,
Yeah.
Blue Moon, like a ton of
good
different
shit.
like good
Yeah, like a selection.
beers, yeah. Which this was back in the early 2000s, and microbreweries, at least in Alabama, were not like a huge
Like
thing yet.
Sam Adams was the microbrewery.
Exactly, yeah. Blue Moon was
And
the
then-
high-end beer.
Yeah.
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 And then, local places would have their own thing, but it wasn't a very exportable thing at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'd have it in our fridge forever because my mom didn't drink beer.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess my stepdad did, but I never remember seeing him with a drink in his hand, so I don't know if he drank it often. And the aforementioned wine coolers.
Yeah. But to go back to your original question, I never really had a stigma about what drinks I should or shouldn't buy when I was underage or of age.
Yeah.
When I turned 21, I was just like, all right, cool. I don't have to give someone else cash to get me booze.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Do y'all know anybody who didn't drink until they were of age?
yeah.
Really?
You?
Yep. Yeah.
You
no, I
really?
didn't. No.
Oh, you know someone.
You know somebody.
I know.
I was about
No.
not to sound so scandalized. I was like, really, Ben? No, not our friend Ben Teichmiller.
Not the roaming alcoholic Ben Teichmiller.
Yeah.
No,
Surely not Ben.
One of my best friends in the world. He did not have a drop. Like, he would mix drinks for people, but he would not drink at all. He did not have a drop of alcohol until like last year, and he's 28 or 29.
Oh, wow.
Okay. See, there are some people who just
Yeah.
don't drink, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know anybody because, like, and this is, I'm not trying to say, like, oh, we're all alcoholics and blah, blah, blah. But, like, alcohol is a big part of my life, and it was a big part of my life growing up.
Me too. I learned how to make a margarita when I was 12.
Yeah, one of my fondest memories is actually one of my mom's friends teaching me how to make a mojito.
Yeah.
Back when I was, like, 14. And I didn't drink it, but that's just, like, I'm surrounded by it.
I would make White Russians when I was 13 or 14.
And the thing is I think that because you and I were talking about this the other day, my parents, when we moved in, gave us, like, a bunch of alcohol,
booze.
a bunch of liquor.
Because I had this big truck I borrowed from my dad, and I helped Ari's dad move a bunch of other stuff,
And
too.
they weren't drinking it.
Yeah.
So, and we took months to get through it.
Yeah.
And I think that growing up around alcohol gave me a healthy respect for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And seeing it not be stigmatized
Like
by my parents.
Yeah.
When I got of age, I didn't go crazy.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people that did.
Yeah.
I met a lot of people my first semester of college that were going fucking nuts with drinking all the time.
And it was all the people who were like, alcohol was a bad word.
It was all the people with the strictest parents.
Yeah, I was told when I was a kid, yeah, it's totally normal for, like, to have a glass of wine at night. Mm-hmm. And I remember we had a woman come in to, like, teach us about the dangers of alcohol when I was, like, 12 years old or, like, 11. And look, I'm not saying it can't be abused, but that's everything. But, like, she came in and she was just like, alcohol is evil. Never drink it. Don't let you touch it. And I raised my hand and I was like, wait, hold on. I've heard it's normal just, like, have a glass of wine every once in a while. I mean, that's what my parents do, and they don't seem evil.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I should show you the pictures of the livers of these people who have just been, their lives ruined. And I'm like, the alcoholics, right? That's not the same thing.
Those pictures are always the most extreme cases.
Right, yeah.
Like, I have a coworker, actually, who's been going to the doctor a lot, and he can get down. Like, I went to a party with him one time, and he was literally falling over.
See, like, when we
but like I was saying, he went to the doctor and they actually checked his liver, and because he actually has like he has a lot of hereditary medical issues. Like low liver function was one of them, but it wasn't due to the alcohol.
Yeah, and his liver probably looks fine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying you should be 50 and, like, getting blackout every other night.
Right.
No, if you're like, well, I firmly believe you should drive your age, which to extrapolate on that, the older you get, I think, like, you should feel more free with your life, is how I think. Like,
what you're saying is it's going to be totally fine when I'm 65 and yelling at kids like I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
Yes!
And then by the time she's 70, she'll murder someone. It'll be fine.
I mean, I have hopes and dreams, Travis. And I don't really like that. I do spend a lot of time thinking about great places to hide bodies in the Huntsville area. But
Nice.
I've got a plan. Oh, wait, that's the wrong thing to say while we were recording.
Ben has a plan and he will carry it out.
Oh,
Look, all I'm
goodness.
saying is if you find any bodies in the next couple of weeks at the ledges, it wasn't me, all right?
Hey. But no, to extrapolate a little bit more on, like, alcoholism, I've got some stories about when I was 13 or 14. If you guys want to hear a couple of those are fun. But no, like, if you want to like meet alcoholics that put your drinking in perspective.
Yeah.
I joke about being an alcoholic.
Sure.
I'm not an alcoholic. I've been to AA.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers are alcoholics
Yeah.
and will make you feel like, oh shit, I'm like junior varsity at best compared to these motherfuckers.
And I feel like, you know what, if you feel like you need to slow down, if you feel like you need to cut back,
Yeah.
I think that's totally fine. You shouldn't feel pressure to drink.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't feel like it's this taboo, dangerous.
It's that real medium ground.
Oh, though don't drink and drive.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Don't even go to like a golf course or anything like that when you're hammered. But
Well, then I just wouldn't go to a golf course.
Oh, drink and drive because the first
Oh,
club
I
is the
get
driver.
it. You took advantage of my lack of knowledge about sports for this joke, and I am mad now.
Well, do you want? All right.
Take a drink.
Glug glug. So when I was 13 or 14, my sister was dating this guy who was going down to UA, and to kind of keep her in check, to put quotations around that, my parents would send me with my sister down there.
Sure.
And she would hang out with him, and we had this silent understanding, which didn't always work. Also, these chips are gluten-free.
Yeah, they fucking are.
So,
Because gluten is a protein in wheat,
yeah. So
not potatoes.
I would hang out with his dorm mates. One of them was in a fraternity. The other two were trying to get into a different fraternity. And so they would take me, an impressionable 14-year-old, to these parties. And that's how I learned to play like beer pong and shit. And I took my first beer bong. Those are like some of the... And like one of the dudes I'm still friends with on like social media. And son of a bitch, that motherfucker's leading a great life. But no, like...
And it's all because of beer.
Yeah, that's where I got introduced to the Big Lebowski, a few other things.
Fun.
Nice.
Yeah, but, yeah. I remember playing beer pong and having like 7 or 8 beers in one night. That's where I learned my distaste for light beer.
Nice.
Also, it is ridiculous that the drinking age is 21. Like, that's
Yeah.
so high.
There's a really cool interview with Frank Zappa where he talks about like how other countries with lower drinking ages actually have healthier views on drinking
Yeah.
than the Americans. Like in like some countries, it's like 16.
Yeah. I mean, in Europe, it's, 18, 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in like Russia.
Even in Canada, it's 18.
Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is they banned drinking in the U.S. and all of America's riders went to France.
It's true. But I think
There was a reason for that.
Yeah.
I think Russia, the legal drinking age is conception.
Well, and especially in the South, the stigma against drinking is kind of ridiculous because, okay, so we have an open carry ban when we're in the car, which, like, yeah, fine, you shouldn't have an open drink next to you.
Fair enough.
But if you have an open, like, case of beer in your trunk, you can get pinged for that.
That's
shit.
retarded.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow. I've
Because-
been doing a lot of illegal activity.
Yeah,
You and me
same.
both.
I mean, I'm like, if you go to a party and you bring, if it's a BYOB and you bring a bottle of wine with you and you drink a glass of wine and then you close that wine, technically open carry.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Open container.
Open container.
Open carry
Oh,
is
yeah,
about
sorry.
guns.
Open carry is about guns.
No, there's actually a really good Kyle Kinane bit about how he's never sure if open carry means for alcohol or for guns.
Yeah. And meanwhile, like, I'm not even going to get to the archaic, not magic laws. Old-timey laws we have about when you can buy liquor, where you can buy liquor.
Yeah. Oh God.
The taxes.
Honestly, I'm more
You can't buy
okay-
liquor between, like, 1 and 6 a.m. It's ridiculous. Okay, sorry. Continue.
Well, I feel like most stores should be closed between 1 and 6 a.m. anyway.
Yeah.
I should be able to go to Walmart and get a bottle of wine, whatever I want.
Yeah.
Hell, to extrapolate on that, I think we should be able to buy liquor in a grocery store
Yeah.
in Alabama.
Which
Yeah.
we can in Missouri.
And every other state, I think.
I came of age in Missouri,
Tennessee?
so...
Yes.
Okay. I know you can.
Yeah, no, you can in Tennessee.
Okay.
I came of age in Missouri, and so, the first time I was buying liquor, it was just available wherever. And
Yeah.
then I came back to Alabama, and I was like, I'm sorry, I have to go to a what store now?
Yeah,
Like liquor store.
A package store. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's ridiculous.
Oh, it's
ABC, are you listening?
yeah. That and syntaxes. Jesus Christ. Is that the sound of you don't know?
I don't know.
All right, I'll say this much.
I know what syntax
This is going to be a no, like not.
Oh, syntax. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, not
Yeah.
I said it too
not
fast.
sentence structure.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
it's taxes on things like drinking, smoking, gambling.
Yeah.
Right, which we don't even have in Alabama. So,
I mean, but
Not legally.
well, we don't have.
if you
lottery.
buy a deck of cards or a set of gambling dice,
Yeah.
you get taxed on that
Yeah.
with the gambling tax.
However, if you run a parlay at a gas station, shrugs.
Yeah.
But no, like you've seen liquor prices between like Missouri, Tennessee, and Alabama.
Oh yeah, it's so cheap in Missouri,
If this
It's
is
even cheaper in Mississippi.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's
and we consider them like our dumber cousin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for those of you who don't live in the South, Alabama treats Mississippi like
Like
I
the
don't
rest of the
know.
country treats Alabama.
pretty much, yeah.
or New Jersey, or how the English treat the Irish.
Yeah.
Sure. Like they're just a bunch of dumb motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
With worse roads.
Or even the Scottish and the English.
That's also true. Or the Welsh and the English.
Yeah.
or the English and the rest of the world.
Hey,
really.
you know how rivalries are a thing? It's just like that.
Sort of like Alabama and Auburn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Alabama and Tennessee, or Alabama,
Alabama
and
and
Georgia, or Alabama and Notre
Texas.
Dame, or
Alabama and Ohio.
Alabama and Missouri.
Alabama
Alabama.
and Michigan.
Okay, we can keep going.
Oh.
Guys, I want to
Yeah.
ask a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about, since we've been talking about ourselves as teenagers and the less than legitimate things we got up to, let's
Talking
talk
more-
about some very legitimate things we did.
Like
Yeah.
education.
Education. Reading, in fact.
Education in the nation of our brains.
Let's talk about our summer reading lists
All right.
that were assigned to us by our teachers.
Okay.
Y'all have any books or short stories or poems that you remember from your high school days that
got
you enjoyed or disliked?
I got a few.
All right, hit me. Baby, one more time.
A few that I did
Now,
not.
a lot of these are probably going to cross over.
Yeah, because we all went to school in Alabama.
Yeah, we all went to school in
Yeah.
Alabama. And I went to a private school, but it's still...
Oh, la di
It's still high school curriculum.
Well, I mean, it's a high school curriculum. Like, did anybody escape without reading The Great Gatsby?
No.
I did.
Exactly.
What?
I did
Oh.
read. I read Of Mice and Men.
Oh, sorry. Was
Okay.
it assigned?
No. Like,
Oh, you went to a private school too, actually.
all right, to put it in
I'm the only public school kid here.
to put it in perspective, you went to like a Ford kind of place. I went to like a Lexus, and you went to like a kind of more Mercedes kind of place.
Yeah.
And I would argue that my English education is better than both of y'all's.
I'm sure it is.
All right, so a few of my
Mostly because I have a degree in English.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
know.
all right high school only. We'll compete on that.
Yeah, high school only.
A few stories that
I'm going to throw in middle school, too.
All right.
Middle school, high school.
A few I did not appreciate at the time, but I enjoy now. But I like the themes and stuff. The Red Orchid, Flowers for Algernon, Harrison Bergeron. A few short stories I really enjoyed. But a book I really enjoyed. My English teacher, my senior year and junior year, she gave us just like a 30 item list of books that we could choose from.
Yeah, it was like choose 3 of these books or
Exactly.
something.
Or we could suggest a book that we thought should be on the list.
Yeah.
And my little English teacher, she was all of like 4'10". And she was like this little like ex-hippie little lady. Like me and her would talk about the Doors like after the class and stuff. It was awesome.
That's funny.
Like I made her a Doors mix CD and shit. Like because she lost all of her CDs somehow. I was like, all right, well here you go. And so she wore like little Birkenstocks, and she didn't lift her legs to walk. She just scooted because you could hear her coming up.
You just...
You would either hear the shh, or she was like a little itty bitty old woman ninja and just sneak up on you, and it was funny as hell every time. But one of my favorite books I ever read was Of Mice and Men, that was on the list. But I uttered the name of one book, and she got so excited. She was like, I'm surprised I never even thought of that book. It's going on the list now. Slaughterhouse-Five.
Yeah.
God damn it, I love that book. And that was like, even like Harrison Bergeron was like a stepping stone into very surreal, abstract satire. That and like Swift as well. Because Swift was a little dry for me, and I enjoy dry things, but Vonnegut, goddamn.
Yeah.
That and some things I hated that were required. To this day, I still hate the movie because of the book. Shane.
Yeah.
Come back, Shane, that boring, dumbass little kid.
Shane!
Yeah.
It's a Western. And
Yeah.
when you think of, like, classic black hats, white hats...
Western, that's Shane.
These bandits are trying to get us off our land.
And I grew up, like, watching Westerns.
Yeah.
I love them. I still do. Shane is like the Metallica of Westerns. It's just dumb. It's watered down. It's dry. It's stupid. It's offbeat, mainly because the drummer sucks. Wait, I got off topic. but what were some things you guys enjoyed or hated from school?
So obviously I enjoyed things like I liked Of Mice and Men. I liked Lord of the Flies.
Oh, that was a good one too.
I actually liked Gadsby.
Okay.
There was one more that I liked. Oh, we read in my history class. Actually, we read Machiavelli's book.
Ooh.
Oh, The Prince?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Prince.
Nice.
We read The Prince by Machiavelli.
That's a good
and
one.
that is it's funny, actually.
Yeah.
It's a really funny book.
Okay, I actually want to talk about this.
Yeah?
Because I have harbored the belief for years that The Prince is actually satire.
It might be.
Yeah, we
'Cause
don't know.
It's really funny because, like, people come back to life.
Yeah.
It's really... It's an enjoyable read.
Yeah, The Prince, for you guys who don't know, is basically a treatise on, like, look out for yourself. Be like, when people say Machiavellian, they mean cold, conniving, manipulative.
Yeah.
And that's where that comes from. But when you read The Prince, it's like, is this motherfucker serious? What the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. So the question for years has been, is this a satire or is this not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll never fucking know.
Nope.
Well, that's kind of like the fine line between like what The Lottery was. Also a good short story.
Yeah.
Well, The Lottery was straight up satire.
See,
Yeah.
I went to school with like a bunch of rednecks. Like these motherfuckers they had skull in their back pockets and they would dip coffee grounds.
Oof. But can you read
Yeah.
The Lottery and take it seriously?
Yeah, if you're retarded, like the dudes that were in my class.
Seriously, they were like, "This sounds like a good idea. Let's stone people."
No. It wasn't that. It's
Okay.
the opposite. They were like, "Why would this motherfucker suggest this?"
Oh, okay, I see.
And I'm like, "Wow, y'all are like bag of
I don't
hammers
know.
dumb."
Maybe it
Missing
has something
the
to do with
point.
McCarthyism.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, it does. Okay,
Yeah.
it's scapegoating.
To put this in perspective, a dude that was a few grades below me that played football, he had a tattoo of a Copenhagen can on his ass cheek.
Jesus.
Not that everyone who dips is an idiot.
Just the
But
people.
it seems like every idiot dips. Okay, but
no.
that's neither here nor there.
This is a story for another time. But one of the most influential dudes in my life, when I found out he dipped, like he's a smart dude, one of the
Yeah.
smartest men I've ever met. When I found out he did snuff, I'm like, what the fuck? And it really put it in perspective that one didn't go with the other.
Right. Those are the people who read like A Modest Proposal and are like, "Oh my God, why does he want to eat babies?
Exactly.
Poor children. That's
Exactly.
insane.
Yeah.
That's awful." Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about the satire paradox another day. What about books you didn't like, Travis?
Books I didn't like. There was a book we had to read called Girl with the Pearl Earring.
Oh,
yeah.
We all called it Guape. Because that was the acronym.
yeah.
Historical novels are sometimes
Yeah, it was
hit or
not.
miss.
It was not good. There was some other book, and like I can't even remember what the book was because I did not like it and I did not read it.
Everyone had at least one of those.
Yeah,
I
I
was
definitely
just
had a
like-
book where I was just like,
Fuck this.
This
I
bores the shit
refuse
out of
to
me.
read it.
I'm not gonna read it. But
Do you remember what it was about?
No,
Fair enough.
because I didn't read it.
Fair enough.
All right, so
What about you? Huh?
let me crack my knuckles real quick.
Little Miss asked this question.
I had an excellent English education in high school.
Yeah.
Say what you will about Huntsville High, but circa 2005 to 2009,
Yeah.
they had some
Hell yeah.
amazing English teachers.
Badass.
And like the reason why I pursued English as a degree is because of my 9th grade English teacher, Mrs. Dotts.
Nice.
And they just built off each other. Mrs. Dotts, first of all, super cool lady. She had an English Shakespeare Rose Garden,
Oh.
which for those of you who don't know, You can buy there are certain types of roses that are based off of Shakespeare's plays, and she would buy a bunch of those and grow those, and they're absolutely beautiful.
That's awesome.
She also made Shakespeare fun. The reason why I make Shakespeare nut is because of her. Also, to teach the monomyth, the Hero with 1,000 Faces, she let us watch Star Wars.
That's right.
Fucking Star Wars, guys. It was fucking awesome.
How long was this class if y'all watched Star Wars?
A year.
Yeah, it was a year long.
Let's
Fair
say
to-
2
you know what?
semesters.
I should have saw that one.
Yeah, those movies are not very long. They're not a year long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fucking great. Like, I loved having this teacher. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And I read 2 books in her class that are some of the only books that I've ever reread from an English class.
What were those books?
The first one is Their Eyes Were Watching God, which is by Zora Neale Hurston, which, like, if I ever meet Alice Walker, who wrote The Color Purple and a couple of other books, she's an amazing writer in her own right. Right. And if I ever met her, I would be like, oh my God, I love The Color Purple. You're an amazing feminist scholar. You're great. But then I would also be like, thank you for introducing the world to Zora Neale Hurston. Because nobody knew about her before Alice Walker.
Oh, yeah?
Alice Walker found her grave because she was in an unmarked grave in Florida.
Oh, dang.
And Their Eyes Were Watching God is about this young woman who, and the relationships she had with her life. And it's one of those rare early African-American novels that is not about the civil rights movement. Which is, I mean, I read Invisible Man in high school as well, and that is about the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
And it's great, and I'm so happy we have that book. But it's just so good. It's just so good. And I reread it occasionally, and it's still as good as I remember it being.
Nice.
And then the other one that I read that year was A Farewell to Arms
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
by Ernest Hemingway.
Good one.
I think we've mentioned that book before on this podcast.
Yeah.
And if I have to name one book one author that's probably inspired like my writing habits,
Okay.
I would say Ernest Hemingway. Motherfucker was contrite.
Yeah.
That is
Right.
That is what I try to be.
Yeah, economical with words is
Yeah.
a fantastic way to be.
I like to use $1 and $2 words.
See, like I like flowery when it comes to like more when it's like short stories and like things like that.
poetry?
Or poetry.
Yeah.
Sure.
But novels, motherfucker, we've got 1,000 pages to go.
Yeah, we need you to speed this along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I think honestly, when I'm reading, I want a good mix of both.
Yeah.
Because you can be punched in the gut by a simple phrase, and I
Yeah.
want that in anything.
Yeah.
But I love beautiful descriptions.
I like the series of unfortunate events. I really enjoyed how it was written because especially when I was younger, it was a great way to do vocabulary, like story arcs and everything all tied
it's like
together.
such and such means this, and this. But in this situation, it means this, and this.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
And then another book that is one of my favorite books that I read as a senior in high school, Frankenstein.
Okay, yeah.
I love that fucking book.
That leads me to my next question.
Do you want me to mention a book I hated?
Yes, actually, because that's kind of my question. Or it's not like a book that you hated. Go ahead and do the book that you hated, and I'll do my question, if that's cool.
I didn't like.
I'm leaning in.
Fuck, I actually don't remember anything. Hold on, give me a minute.
That's a way to build tension.
Mostly because I guess I pushed it from my memory. The Awakening's pretty dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a super important, like, early feminist novel, and basically it's about this young woman who has an affair and then kills herself. But God, is it a drag. I had to read it in 10th grade, and hoof. My junior year of high school, my English teacher was Miss McDowell, Beck McDowell. She's an author. She's published some books. Go check them out. But it was that was a super great year because we were doing like creative nonfiction books. Like we read the things they carried, which kind of straddles
I've read
the
the
line.
things they carried too.
Yeah, that's another one that makes it on the favorites list. It's really great. There's this scene where this soldier dies. It's about the Vietnam War. There's a scene where this soldier dies in a field of shit, and it is so evocative.
Yeah.
And then my favorite scene in the book is when one of the characters is killing a baby buffalo. It's intense.
Yeah.
Just like camping.
Yeah. Just like Nan. So I will say there is this period of like late 1800s, early 1900s, like turn of the century writers that I'm
Yeah.
just like, y'all are a little dry. Let's speed this along. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I liked a lot of books that I read when I was in high school.
Did you ever read An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge?
No.
No.
Oh, it's one of my favorite short stories of all time. It's great. It's about this soldier / prisoner who's being, he's at the gallows at Owl Creek Bridge, and he's going through the whole motions of being executed, and they do the lever to lower him, and the noose breaks, and he just swims down the stream, and like he's having this lovely trip down the bridge, and it goes on and on with this lovely, beautiful language. He's just describing nature and everything around him, but then it loops back to him hanging from the gallows.
No, it was all a dream.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you.
It's so beautiful though, because it makes sense, because it's a very weird philosophy. Like, let's say, have you ever had
like his soul leaves his body and
Exactly.
falls into the river and goes down the river.
that, or let's say DMT is firing off in his brain, and he's imagining how like lovely and beautiful nature is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because
In his time of dying.
like I have like this headcanon about life. Like, have you ever had a close call with death?
Not really, no.
Yes.
All right. See, like, what if you actually died in that moment, and everything after that moment has just been a dream of your body, like, slowly decaying into, like, worm food,
Oh, this is a very long dream, and I'm very upset.
Yeah.
right? That's why.
I'm
That's why I did.
Also, my imagination is fucked up.
Yeah.
It's meta as hell.
Yeah.
I
I could imagine anything, and I imagined you people.
yeah,
Right?
for real.
All right.
See,
Sure.
that's what breaks that mirage or anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Because hopefully I would have put myself in a better situation than this.
Right.
It's like, all right. Is it episode time?
I think it's episode time.
It's episode time.
Yeah.
Travis,
Yeah.
the episode of Scarecrow.
Scarecrow.
What do you think's going to happen?
All right, so Sam and Dean are going to go. They're going to be at wherever their next destination is. We never know. They were in Illinois, and now they're going to be in. Let's pick a random place like Kansas. And so
Totally random.
they go to Kansas, and they hear about this really crazy road, this like haunted road, and it'll like flash yellow sometimes. So they go on it, and they're trying to see what it's about, and they meet like this dude that's made of metal, and a lion, and a talking scarecrow, and they're like, "Man, how can a scarecrow talk without any brains?" And then the scarecrow is like, "Lots of people talk that don't have brains," and they're like, "Good point, scarecrow."
Some pointed.
And then they go melt a witch, and then that's the episode.
All right, well, let's fucking see.
Let's
That's
find out.
That's a poignant assertion. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see the Scarecrow's taking some satire.
Hey.
Every day, cryptids suffer. They are hungry, tired, starved for attention. Here at the Cryptid Reserve and Protection Service, we are dedicated to giving to cryptids in need. You can say, "I won't stand by," while innocent cryptids suffer. For just 16 cents a day, you can give a human sacrifice to the carnivorous tree behind your grandmother's house. Call today, call tomorrow, call 10 days ago. Call 1-666-2727 and sponsor a cryptid today.
we're back.
We're back. We returned.
Oh my god.
Obviously, we just watched the episode.
We did.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
We're gonna break this motherfucker down like
Do
it's...
it. Let's get
Do
it.
it.
Let's get it
Let's
done.
talk about it.
All right, episode Scarecrow
Yeah.
opens with this lovely Mayberry-esque town. Mm-hmm. The townsfolk are taking care of this lovely young couple, Mr. Tips. And I don't remember the woman's name because it's early 2000s and I don't have to.
Let's call them Mr.
Holly.
Tip. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
Holly and Mr. Tips.
Holly and Mr.
Mr.
Tips.
Tips.
We call his name is Vince.
Yeah.
But it's Frosted Tips.
It's Frosted Tips and Vaguely
Tips.
Goth Girl.
Yeah.
Frosted Tips.
And this motherfucker looks like the Kmart version of the lead singer of Sugar Ray, Mark McGrath,
Yeah.
of Sharknado fame.
He looked like he could have fronted a Mark McGrath cover band.
He looked like his dream was one day being accused of assault.
Yeah. He looks like everywhere he goes, statues crumble for him.
He knows how much you love him.
He looks like he'll never have kids, but he will be uncomfortably close to his nieces.
There you go.
Only when they're in high school, though. They'll drift apart once they go to college.
Do you have something to add, or are you just laughing so hard?
All around the world. Okay.
What I'm trying to say is that this guy
as much as
looks
we can do.
super annoying. Also, he has a tribal tattoo, so
He's got this
super
tattoo,
annoying.
yeah.
We'll get there, baby. We'll get there. All right, so
We'll get there.
the townsfolk are taking care of him, like fattening the pig before slaughter style. Foreshadowing? I think not. And so, like, they get their car fixed and everything. It's getting dark. And the guy from The Killing who plays Mayor Adams tells the couple how to get back to the highway. And so they start driving. And they're in, like, a pretty new Mustang
Yeah.
for the time. And they get down the road, and then, like, the way it's panned, the headlights start to die. And the car itself just stops. Much like me burping right now.
Yep.
And so they start to freak out, and they get out of the car. Step one in any horror scenario, don't fucking do.
Yeah.
Especially if you're the dude. Let her stay in the car.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to get out. I mean, damn. And then so they get out of the car and they start wandering through an orchard, which I don't know. Like, you're gonna find a car to hitchhike to.
Yeah.
Like, I think they say there's a house or something. I never saw it.
It looks like your house. Maybe they were hallucinating.
Probably, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, that apple pie had some
That's some.
LSD in it or something.
I hope.
Those are some fucking good apples.
Yeah.
I bet some.
How do you like them apples?
Damn it!
Sorry, it was right there.
It was.
And I had to
You had to reach out for.
Pluck it.
You had to reach out for
I
that
had
low
to-
hanging fruit.
look. I saw it hanging on the forbidden tree. All right, and I needed that knowledge of good and evil.
All right.
Anyways, continue.
And so they start wandering through the forest. Double bad idea.
Yeah.
And then that's when they point out the scarecrow. And then they turn away, and it does that classic thing of the scarecrow turning to look at them, and then they turn back, and it just stops moving.
Yeah.
Because this episode, I've said this numerous times this evening, very much similar to my favorite film or one of my favorite horror film franchises, Jeepers Creepers. If you haven't seen it,
Creepers.
go watch it. Just as long as in the first one.
Creepers.
Where'd you get them peepers?
Jeepers Creepers. Where'd you get those eyes? Okay, I'm pretty sure that's in the public domain.
It is. I'm
You're
fairly
done
certain.
about to find out.
Yeah, we'll find out when this episode airs.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Or more likely a couple weeks after.
Yeah.
Hopefully a month or two. And so they just keep walking, and then they look back, and the scarecrow is gone. And then
Yeah.
it starts chasing them very much, all a slasher film, because it's a good one. Mm-hmm. And so they die. Of
Yeah.
course they do, because it's the cold cut.
Because they don't know what universe they live in.
Yep. And then they die, and we cut to Sam and Dean. They're driving down the road. I think Sam is driving, correct?
Yeah.
Which is a rare thing in the supernatural universe.
Talk about their dad.
Oh, well, that's what I'm about to.
Okay.
Because they're deciding on where to go. Mm-hmm. Dean wants to go to the job, and Sam wants to go to California to find him.
Right.
And Dean's like, no, we got to do this job. We got to take care of this. We got to save people and kill things. And Sam's like, no, we got to find Dad. I'm tired of this bullshit soldier bull crap. Oh, yeah, because they talked to him on the phone before that. I'm sorry. And because it jumps back to like where we left them at like the previous episode, and Sam's on the phone with him. And Sergeant Winchester, which is what I wrote down in my notes, is very much like, I gave you an order. Follow this order. Do the job. And Sam's like, no, I need to see you. We need to talk about this shit. We gotta like sound this out, man. And so like that conversation continues between like Sam and Dean on the road, and Sam just says fuck it, pulls over to the side and says, you know what? I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm gonna go to California by myself, find Dad. And you know what? And Sam's like, you know what? Or Dean says, fuck you. You can do your own shit. Yeah, I'm doing this job.
Fuck me? How about fuck you?
Yeah.
But fuck me too. But don't fuck me, but fuck you.
And they said that on the WB.
On the WB.
Back in 2005. Just kidding.
But
go on.
The next thing I have in my notes is hashtag Splitsville again.
Splitsville.
And so then we
okay, so like I really want to be with Dean, but he doesn't understand my feelings and how to get away and fly. That's not a comment on how I think Sam is acting. I get it.
Sam and Dean have a better will they won't they than Ross and Rachel.
And it's gone on for 13 seasons. All right.
And so Dean, of course, goes to the job, and then we see Sam. He's trying to hitchhike down the road, and he finds this hot as hell blonde woman, if you will.
Can I just say, her hair's been cut off, and she's dressed like a slut.
She's either going to die, or she's a plot device. Hey!
It's one of the two.
And so Sam and Meg, as her name is in the show, have a conversation about, which I like to call hashtag relatable, because she's talking about how she left home because she didn't agree with her family, because she didn't want to do what her family was forcing her to do.
Yeah, they tried to put me in a box.
Where have we heard that before in Supernatural?
Oh my god, me too. This is so crazy. It's like we're on the same wavelength.
Because Sam just starts to swoon as soon as she starts spinning that bullcrap at him. And then we cut back to Dean, who is walking through Mayberry, and he sees Scotty's Diner. And he sees this dude just chilling. And he looks at the sign and looks at the guy, just points at him and goes, I'm going to guess Scotty, right?
Yo, are you Scotty?
And Scotty just looks at the sign and says, that'd be me.
Beam me up, brother.
What do you know about what's happening? But Scotty doesn't know.
Yeah.
I'm giving her all she's got, Captain.
I think out of all the references, I don't know why that one made me sigh the most.
Oh, you don't like Lustra? Yeah, that's the name of the band that plays Scotty Doesn't Know.
You're not a fan of Eurotrip? Is that the movie that it's in?
Yeah. Eurotrip is the movie. Lustra is the band. Do you know why Matt Damon plays the lead singer?
I was also thinking of the scene in Austin Powers.
In college, back when Matt Damon was in college, he was best friends with, I think, the lead singer of Lustra. And when they were going to be in the movie, they were like, hey, do you want to be the lead singer? And he says, fuck yes.
Nice.
Well, my life is not enriched because I know that fact.
You're welcome.
So, thank you.
Hey, you want to know a fact that can enrich your life? The song Jeepers Creepers is from a movie back in the 30s, and the song specifically was written about a horse.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Well,
And so Dean is talking to Scotty.
we're just going to move away from that.
And Dean does one of my favorite. It's
You
one
guys
of
never appreciate my horse facts.
It's because you're just horsing around.
We hate horses.
Yeah, you're just horsing around.
You
over
hear
there
me,
all damn
world?
time.
I, Ari Kobler, hate horses.
I say nay to your horse facts.
Oh my god.
Boo! Boo!
Let's move on.
All right.
Anyways, so Dean.
So Dean is talking to Scotty, and as Dean is wont to do, he introduces himself as a classic rock icon, and he introduces himself as John Bonham. And Scotty just looks at him, and without missing a beat, he's like, "Isn't that the drummer from Led Zeppelin?" And he's like, "All right, good eye."
And Dean just like,
You know what?
classic.
Yeah, because it just hits him like upside the head because no one ever picks up on it, and it's amazing to me. Like, if he said it to teenagers, sure, but he's saying it to, like, middle-aged people.
Yeah, not even middle-aged, but, like, a dude who probably went to the first Led Zeppelin concert.
Yeah.
He probably saw John Bonham live.
Yeah, that's how old he is.
Yeah. By the way, John Bonham, like, died in the 80s for people who don't understand the reference.
He
So
died,
was it an overdose?
No, well, it was, like, he went on a binger and then choked on his own vomit.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A la Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's funny is he and Hendrix are like a couple of mainstays, and you guys, did you have Dare at Randolph?
Yeah.
Okay. They would use like a Jimi Hendrix choked in his own vomit, and like they would be like, "That's why you shouldn't smoke pot." And I'm like,
Yeah.
he drank too much. He didn't get too
Well,
high.
like heroin, probably. A little bit.
A little bit of both.
I mean, that's how Jessica Jones dies in, sorry.
Spoilers for a
Spoilers.
show I haven't watched. It's cool. I'm not gonna watch Jessica Jones.
Wait, what?
Never mind. You've seen all of Breaking Bad, right?
No, not yet.
Oh, shit.
Wait,
No, you've seen past that point.
Yeah, I've seen past
It's
that
in
point.
like season 2 of season
I was
3
like,
of
Jessica
Breaking
Jones doesn't die in her own show. That
She
doesn't
does-
make any sense.
It's
She has to be in the Defenders.
It's like one of those like triple memes.
Bad. Yeah,
It's like it's like layers of memes.
it was
kind of
super
like
meta
how
just
Luke
then.
Skywalker was the, started the
Like
war
how-
between the four nations in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Well, kind of like how.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Or how.
Mark Hamill's a very prolific voice actor. All right, continuing back to the episode.
God, oh shit! I've barely even moved like the story along.
You really
That's
have.
All right, so Dean does that with Scotty, and Scotty's just kind of an asshole to him, and he goes to find the orchard, and he comes back. Like it's a little bit later, and there's a couple. No, because Dean asks everybody about like his friends.
Yeah, he goes
Mr.
around. He's like, "Hey, my
Yeah, the
friends are
missing
missing."
couple.
Mr. Tips and Holly, and like they're trying to play off like they don't know about them
You're like, "Oh yeah, they never came through here. Never
I've
saw
never
them."
seen these.
until
Never-
They don't come
seen
through
these
these
people.
here parts.
until the niece is like, did one of them have a tattoo?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
niece whose name is
Blondie Mc.
Blondie Lady.
I don't think they even say her name.
They do.
Bon-
Harley?
Harley.
It's something like
It's some ridiculous
Yeah.
H. I mean, Harley is a fine name.
I've got a name for it, but I'll say it later on in the episode.
Okay.
And so then Dean finds out that they got sent past the orchard, and he gets directions to the orchard, and he goes and checks it out, and he sees the scarecrow, and he's like, "Oh, that's kind of fucked up."
Yeah, he's like, "Oh God."
And he doesn't find anything there until he goes up to the scarecrow and like checks out his arm,
And he
it's got-
sees the tattoo,
And he-
like the thing on the. It's got the thing.
He whips out the missing persons page, and the guy is just like flexing his
like,
arm, holding a
flexing
cup of
with his
coffee.
tattoo.
They
He's
used,
like,
they used the
"Look at my
worst
fucking
picture from
tattoo."
Mr. Tips because his face is like scrunched and his tattoo is just like
That's
like,
the only thing in frame.
The
and
guy
in
taking the picture
focus.
was like, "Here, show off the most memorable parts about you, so just in case your body ever needs to be identified, and in a creepy orchard where you're probably not gonna die. All right, bye bye." Like that is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, poor Mr. Tips.
Mr. Tips sounds like
He
a name
died
for a
too.
cat.
Yeah.
Mr. Tips is gonna be the name of my next cat. Sorry, Stephen and Becky.
And so, finding Mr. Tips' arm on the scarecrow, he goes back to Burkittsville / Mayberry, and he starts like questioning, and then he finds out like there's another couple there while he's getting gas, and he goes back into Scotty's diner, and no one is in there except Scotty and the couple.
Yeah.
And so he goes back in there, and he says, "Hey, what's up, Scotty? Let me get a black coffee, please." And he goes to sit down next to the couple. He sees like the couple has pie and they're enjoying it, and Scotty's like treating them very nicely. And Scotty gives no fucks about Dean at all.
Yeah.
Does not bring him coffee, pie, or what have you. Not even a damn smile. And so,
And what is service without a smile?
right?
Not service.
Yeah.
That's just rude. Dean starts talking to him about how, like, he asks him about their car and what's wrong with it. He's like, "You know what? I could probably help you. I can get you out of here in about an hour or get you out of here before dark." And they're like, "Nah, we'll just have the mechanic do it. I think he knows what he's doing. He's the professional here."
We'll just have the mechanic do it, and don't worry, we're gonna live forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be fine.
We're gonna live forever. It's fine.
Yeah, they're singing "I Will Survive." The cake cover. And so they continue with their conversation, and Dean is like, you know what, these roads really aren't safe at night. And then both of them are real sketched out by him. They're like, you know what, just leave us the fuck alone.
Why? Dean says the sentence, you could be in danger. Which if somebody said that to me and they were a stranger, I'd be like, oh, cool. You're a serial killer.
I'm about to die.
This conversation is over. Yeah, yep. I would be like, awesome. Well, I'm going to leave this diner right now. No, I'm not hungry anymore. But,
and that's when Scotty walks back in and he says, oh, hey, Sheriff.
Yeah.
Who looks like, as Travis put it, a blonde Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
He's
which was on the nose.
It's very striking.
And that's when he walks up to Dean, the sheriff, and he says, I'd like a word, please. And then we jump cut to Dean being chased out of town by a police cruiser. And he calls Dean, and then Dean calls Sam, and he's at the bus stop with Meg. And they're having a lovely conversation about, like, they're getting to know each other. Like, Meg is, like, spinning that web of, oh, my family's shitty, too.
Oh, yeah.
And so Dean is telling Sam about how, like, the scarecrow is being, like, freaky and shit. That he's going to go talk to a college professor or something about it and check it out some more. We have Sam and Meg talking about, like, the family stuff. And they're like, it's definitely, like, sparks are flying, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
And then we cut back to...
you have a shitty family? I have a shitty family.
Oh my god, like we have so much in common. Are you an Aries? This is crazy.
And so we cut back to...
Okay, first of all, two Aries don't get along. Continue.
Okay.
Of course, Mr. Okay, no. This is... No. That's gonna be a hell of a tangent. So anywho, we cut back to Dean, who's at the professor's office. And they're flipping through an old book talking about pagan gods and stuff. And they flip through and they get to this one page with the scarecrow, and like Dean is like, what about this one?
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one that looks like the one I'm looking for.
Exactly. And then the professor starts explaining and like talking about like how Norsemen believed that it needed like a yearly sacrifice.
Yeah. Of a man and a woman. And it's like...
And it's connected to a sacred tree.
He's got a sacred tree, and it's got to get the man and woman, and then he eats them, and then another year goes by, and then he eats another man and woman.
He like blesses the land around him and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like you have to do this ritual in April.
Oh, yeah. Wait, no, that's a thing you were talking about.
No, that's in the show.
No. About spring coming faster.
Yeah, but in the show they have to do the ritual in the second week of April. They talk about that.
Right. No, but I was talking about something else you were talking about.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Tangent. We're gonna get to that.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
We'll
I
get
got a
there
lot
when
to
we get
talk
there.
about in the myth section.
It's gonna be a good time.
It is.
So that's when like the professor starts going off on Dean. He's like, this isn't real. This is all just fairy tales and shit like that. And it's like Dean's like, of course,
I know.
Sure. I know. It's all fake. I get that, Professor.
Fake.
I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Meanwhile, before that, Dean was like, first of all, he was talking so intensely.
Oh yeah, he was
like, so hypothetically, if we burn down this tree,
if we burn down the tree, they will kill the god.
They would kill the pagan god, right? That's my Dean impression.
Yeah, and the dude's just like...
That's a good Dean.
Yeah,
fucking deep voices. I don't know.
And the college professor guy's just like...
This is hypothetical, right?
Sure. This is all fake, Sonny. You
Yeah.
get that, right?
And Dean's like, yeah.
Of course.
Of course. What else would I be talking about? I don't actually think I can kill a god. A wink.
And that's when Dean goes to leave, and as soon as he opens the door, we see the butt of a shotgun smack him in the face.
Right in there.
I jumped. I was not expecting it.
I laughed my ass off, because that was funny as hell, because I've seen this show a lot.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite ones. And so that happens, and the professor and the sheriff just shared this, like, stare of, like, we got him. We took this fucker down. And then we jump cut back to Sam and Meg, and like Sam is just staring at his phone. And he's like, I've been trying to contact my brother for 3 hours, and all I'm getting is voicemail.
Is that your Sam impression?
I'm the bad man. I'm the Sandman.
I'm the goddamn Batman.
I'm the goddamn Batman. Sorry.
Yeah, and Meg is like, so fucking what? Just leave him alone.
Leave him in the dust. He can take care of himself. And Sam's like, nah, this isn't right. Something smells fishy here, as it often does in the supernatural universe.
And Meg was like, oh, that's me. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Meg is actually a drag queen, and she was just looking super fishy that night.
This body I'm in, I haven't washed it. I mean, my body. A wink. Turns to the camera. My body. A wink.
And then she's like, the bus is about to leave, and Sam's like, well, you better be on it. Sounds like you need to go.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to Burkittsville.
To California.
And so we see, because what I remember happening next is we see like Sam going, like he's going to go head off to Burkittsville.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to the townsfolk talking about how they feel about offering up the niece along with Dean as a sacrifice.
Yeah. And they're sad about it, but then they're like, oh, but it'll save all of us.
Yeah, because they're all being like, woe is me, I have the worst part of the job.
Yeah.
I have to direct people to be murdered. My life is hard.
Yeah, I only do this once every year.
Yeah.
Well, the way
like,
it sounds,
geez.
they have to have like 2 or 3 couples, and like as far as we know, they only have like the first.
Well, I think
this
they
brings up
have
a bit
1
of-
week to do this. I don't think it has to be multiple couples. I think it only has to be one couple.
Well, they got Mr. Tips and Holly.
That happened last year.
Because his opening has said 1 year ago.
That's
Although
true.
I will say this, it is extremely fortunate for this town that a couple passes through there every year on a road trip.
During that week.
Yeah, during that week.
In the spring.
Yeah, it's kind of like amazing that happens.
No, I think that's a pretty normal occurrence.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you think, because I've been on a road trip, but I haven't even stopped in Indiana.
Well, that's because that's because of where you live.
I mean, I guess.
Also, we're like poking holes in fiction.
Yeah, but that's part of the fun.
That is true. I mean,
the point is that it is almost a miracle that happened.
Bum, bum, bum.
What I'm saying is that I think my headcanon is I think the pagan god directed them to the town.
Okay.
Fair enough,
Yeah,
fair
that
enough.
makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, he's a god.
And then, so they're having that conversation, and they're like, there's this cellar that Dean is chained up in, and then they lead the niece down there, and like the mayor from The Killing says something to Dean about the whole shit. And then it cuts back to night, and then the niece and Dean are being handcuffed to another tree. And she turns to Dean and says, so how are we going to get out of this one? And Dean's like, I'm working on it. And then a few hours pass.
Yeah, they get chained
night.
up. They get chained up during the day.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And then I'm assuming at least 5 hours pass.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, do you have a plan? I'm working on it.
It's like, and she's like, you don't have a plan,
You don't have
do
a
you?
fucking plan. We're going to die.
He's like, I'm working on it.
And then Dean's like, watch that scarecrow.
Yeah. Well, no, because that's when Sam walks up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sam walks out. She thinks it's the scarecrow. And she's like, oh, God. And it's just fucking Sam.
And then because he starts to let Dean out first because he's gentlemanly like that. And so, chivalry's kind of dead in the show.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of not like rescuing the female first, and maybe that's just like our southern.
You know what? # feminism.
Yeah.
Just because you're a woman doesn't mean you deserve to get saved first.
I guess so.
I mean, I will say this.
Your level of getting saved
has nothing to do with gender.
Is an order of plot relevance.
This is true.
Well, I mean, like, it's a.
But also, I mean, that's
it's an
just
in-group, out-group thing.
Yeah.
Sam doesn't know that woman from Eve.
That's true.
But Dean's his brother.
But
I mean, shit, if my sister were tied to a tree with some stranger, I would save my sister first. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, that's
Fair
true.
enough.
At the same time, like that's kind of how Ben and I were raised in the Southern culture.
Yeah.
Like, and Tom Hand will fucking tell you about it.
I mean, I'm a woman, so I can punch a man in the face and it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
This is very true.
Yeah.
I get like the man would get blamed for you punching him in the face.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is bad. God, so bad. God, bad.
That's
But,
life in the South, baby.
So Sam sets them free.
So Sam sets Dean free, and Dean says to Sam, "Hey, keep an eye on that scarecrow." And Sam turns and goes,
like,
"What scarecrow?"
Da, da, da.
Yeah,
Dean
it
goes-
literally does like cut after that.
Because Dean essentially makes the equivalent of "what the fuck" face on the WB
Yeah.
or the CW, and that's
time.
when they start like looking around, and that's when the scarecrow starts coming at them, and they start running away because apparently the scarecrow cannot fight. He cannot go outside of the orchard,
Yes.
which he's a pagan
Which,
guy.
I mean, it's fair though. That's where his tree is. He can only
Yeah,
be in the
okay.
circumference of his tree.
Fair enough. And then that's when they leave, and they come back during the day, and they
Well,
burn.
hold on.
No, no.
Before
That's
that
good something?
happens,
They get stopped.
by
They
the
get stopped by
towns.
the townspeople, which I'm convinced that this small town is only those four people.
Well, yeah, it's Mayberry. It's just
Well, I mean, think about it. You have a secret you're keeping from the rest of the world. That once a year, you lead 2 people to their death.
well,
You gonna tell everybody?
the niece does drop the line that the surrounding towns like fucking suck.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
nothing there, nothing.
Yeah.
And then this one is miraculously staying afloat.
Right,
Yeah.
but the niece didn't know. So it's not totally out of the question that, like, other than the sheriff, the diner guy, professor,
Yeah.
and the mayor
And
and
the-
the mayor's wife,
and the
it's not
gas
crazy
station
to think
people,
that,
yeah.
like, they're the only ones who know because they're the people who get it going.
But we saw
Right.
no other cars, no other people in
Yeah,
this town.
it was like a ghost
Yeah,
town
well-
other than them.
Yeah.
I mean, extras cost
But
money.
also, if I guess if it's like a farming community.
That's true. I mean,
So-
if the only like
I'm sure people
industry
live
there is the
100 acres
orchard.
away from each other.
right,
Yeah.
if the only industry there is the orchard and then like a small diner and a gas station to like feed the people who work on the orchard, like it's not going to be a huge town.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, shit, there are towns that are like 30 people. So
Yeah,
This is true. Yeah.
That's not even a town at that point. That's a village.
yeah, a hamlet.
Yeah.
But after the confrontation with the townsfolk,
Mm-hmm.
they come back during the day and burn that fucking tree to the ground. They set
Yep.
up like
Yes.
they cover it with gasoline, and that's when the niece, what was I going to call her? Mrs. Exposition Pagan Sacrifice. That she
Mrs. Lamb.
Mrs. Lamb. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a better,
there you go.
That's a shorter
Miss
name.
Miss Lamb.
Miss
Miss
Lamb.
Lamb.
Well, and before they get out of the confrontation
Hmm.
because Scarecrow, like
Yeah, because he attacks
he
the town.
he doesn't give a fuck who
Yeah.
he gets as his sacrifice.
Yeah, he doesn't
so
care.
he kills the mayor and the mayor's wife, the Miss Lamb's uncle and aunt.
Yeah.
And everybody else just scatters after that, and then they come back during the day and burn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the tree.
they're like, oh fuck, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because they pour the gasoline, and Dean is starting to reach to with the torch, the makeshift torch, to burn it, and that's when she says, "Nah, let me."
Yeah.
Let me do it. I loved that.
And
That was
Dean's
great.
like, the town's gonna die, and she's like,
Fuck it.
yeah, I know. I
It
get it.
deserves it.
Yeah.
And then
That's how she
goes to
said it. It
Boston.
deserves it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then she leaves, and Sam and Dean have a
Yeah.
chick flick moment
Yeah.
Yep.
where they talk. Sam's like, "No, we're gonna do this together. Like, I wanted to leave before. I still want to figure out who killed Mom and Jess, but it's important that I stay with you. You're all I have left."
Yeah.
And then the best scene happens.
Rock music plays.
Rock brackets. Rock music plays and brackets.
Yeah.
And
What happens?
Meg.
Oh yeah. Meg. We see Meg. She's in a van with another guy. As we were talking during the show, she cuts a man loose.
She cuts.
because
She says when she runs into Sam, because she gets in a car with this
shady van guy.
shady van guy, and shady van guy's like, "Yeah, I'm not picking you up. You're a guy, and
Yeah. You could be a
I'm
serial killer.
gonna pick up the cute girl."
Yeah.
And she runs into Sam later at the bus station, and she's like, and Sam's like, "What happened to the shady van guy?" And she's like, "I cut him loose," and we were like. You cut him loose?
Wink,
a
wink.
wink?
Wink,
Yeah.
wink, nudge, nudge. Say
Yeah.
them all, say them all.
Yeah, that shady van guy was like, "Hi, I'm shady van guy. I'm gonna live forever." And she was like, "All right, well, let's
Fair
talk about
enough.
this."
And then the episode kind of ends with Meg in another shady van, alluding that she's going to give the man some head, if you know what I'm saying.
On the road,
Yeah.
a wink.
And then they pull over, and she's like, "Oh, I just need to make a call first." And like she whips out like this satanic goblet.
Yeah, this fucking
and he's
goblet
like,
with
he's like, "What the fuck is
melting
that?"
faces on it.
She's like, "Do you need to borrow a cell phone?" She's like, "Nah, it's that kind of call." or not that kind of call.
I'm making a long distance call, if you know what I mean.
And she just like this
wink.
this ninja dagger move, just like slits the man's throat and starts filling up the goblet, and has like a conversation, and it ends with, "Yes, my father."
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, why couldn't I just kidnap Sam and Dean? Like, I'm fucking demon.
I could have taken them both.
Yeah, and the guy in the cup presumably says something like that's like, no, not yet. And she's like, cool.
Cool beans, yo. And then credits roll.
Rock music plays.
Rock music plays.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is one of, I think, I mentioned, we talked about Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
Another thing this reminds me of, I'm sure I've mentioned them before, and y'all probably read them. I know you definitely did, at least a little bit. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yes.
It's not in the first one. I want to say it's either in the second or the third one. There's this story about these two farm brothers, or brothers who are farmers that live in this like cottage together. They have this scarecrow that they make to look like their shitty neighbor, and they just abuse the fuck out of it.
Oh, and it turns out that they turned it into a voodoo doll?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. It starts to come to life.
Oh.
And it becomes a golem for them. It can follow like basic tasks, but they're just assholes to this thing. And it starts becoming creepier and creepier, and it like attacks. I think it's been a while since I read this story, but I remember it kind of becoming like weirdly serial killer-y. Like it would like pretend to be a person, like pretend to sleep and pretend to eat and stuff like that. And it gets to the point where it just mutilates a cow, and they get freaked out, and they just leave, and they're just chilling like a mile away. They can see their house and stuff, and they leave, and like they start looking back, and the scarecrow is like walking on the roof of the house, and it's got like these tarps that it's laying across the roof. And like one of them's like, all right, you stay here, I'm gonna go see what's up. And like a while passes, and the guy's just watching, and eventually he sees the scarecrow walk back onto the roof with like this scarlet red tarp. And he comes back and he sees that it's his brother's skin on the roof. I really want to read that story again because I'm fairly certain I got some of that wrong.
Yeah.
But it's still good though, right?
I mean, I can see the similarities. I also see some references from the lottery.
Yes.
Oh,
which,
very much that, yeah.
Big time.
Anytime you're like, we're a town, we sacrifice one of our town members once a year because of harvest, it's going to be like, oh, lottery.
The lottery, A Modest Proposal, the list goes on.
A Modest Proposal less, I think.
It's specifically with how like the town, it's the when the townsfolk meet together when they're like discussing using the niece as a sacrifice is what makes me think of.
Oh, okay, like a sacrificing. Well, she's not a child, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Compared to them, yeah.
So let's talk about some more students in the episode. The very first note I read was, "I don't trust a mother from Indiana."
Yeah.
And I was right.
Yeah.
I was right.
You had like 7 notes within 4 minutes of this episode.
I have a lot of feelings about this episode. I love this episode.
Ari made us pause the episode for like a solid 5 minutes.
Yeah, so she could finish writing some notes.
Yeah.
Here they are.
Yeah, one of mine was, "Who's your daddy?"
Yeah.
I said, "This motherfucker deserves to die." Frosted Tips.
Yeah.
Looks like he went through the donut glaze machine at Dunkin' Donuts. Fuck him.
God.
Then my next note was, "Hi, my name is Holly, and this is Frosted Tips, and we're gonna live forever."
Yeah. Oh, that I got a super big vibe off of that.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, this guy."
I really wish the "I'm such and such and I'm gonna live forever." That needs to be a T-shirt of ours.
Yeah, we're gonna make that into a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Like, "Hi, I'm blank, and
No,
I'm gonna live
we'll make
forever."
"Hi, I'm Frosted Tips and I'm gonna live forever." That's the T-shirt.
That's a T-shirt.
Okay, and I just want to say, girl, Holly, you can do better.
Yeah.
Even in 2005, Frosted Tips were dated.
I don't know, that motherfucker with the Mustang, the silver Mustang GT.
Silver Mustang, but Frosted Tips too. That's a little over the top.
Yo.
And that swaggy shirt.
That shirt was very 2005. I'm pretty sure it was like an Abercrombie shirt.
You know what was in 2005? That classic leather jacket Holly was wearing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she
classic
looked
is timeless.
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 In April.
Timeless girl. It is Indiana. It's still a little chilly.
Fair
It's the
enough,
second week of April. There's still snow on the ground in some places.
That's true.
Yeah, we're from Huntsville, Alabama, so
Where
we're just
everything
like
is just melting all the
it's
time.
hot all the time.
Yeah.
We're in hell. This is hell.
I'm wearing
So
a tank
it's
top
different
and
for us.
shorts right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't worn a jacket in 3 years. So, we're going through some stuff is what I'm saying. Global warming has not been kind
I've
to
never
us.
seen snow.
Yeah.
My balls are a sauna right now.
Yeah.
So
Mine
anyway,
too.
so
That's how hot it is.
Also, can we talk about what this motherfucking scarecrow looks like?
Yeah.
Because if you don't know that it's going to be a pagan god, you're going to be like, what are they trying to scare away? Children? Dogs? People?
Especially
It's not for
like
crows. It's not for crows.
it's not for crows because it's a scarecrow that's under the tree line.
Yeah, also, who's going to see this fucking scarecrow? People walking through the orchard. Also,
And who was it to say? Are you about to say
it
it?
was me. I'm about to say it.
Okay.
This scarecrow has hair.
yeah,
You only give a scarecrow hair if you're expecting it to come to life.
Yeah. It's
All right?
true.
That
Yeah.
is
Every time.
Yeah.
every time.
Every time.
every goddamn time. I've never heard of a scarecrow being used in an orchard too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
usually
it's
reserved
like
for
out of the field.
That
Like
doesn't seem like a
cornfields or
thing.
because
something.
orchards are orchards. It's a bunch of trees.
That being
Yeah,
said,
they're tall.
yeah.
this
Tall
wouldn't.
as a tree.
This is not the first thing or the last thing that Supernatural reappropriated for a plot point.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
get
we're
into
gonna get there.
how wrong their mythology is.
Let's rock and roll.
Does not affect my enjoyment of the episode, but still, I looked it up and I was like, oh, this is totally not how it goes.
No, that being said, like this is another one of your like good classic freak of the week, supernatural, solid episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though
absolutely.
they get a shit ton of stuff wrong.
And some plot.
Yeah, it's
Well-
it's you got plot, you got freaks, you got crazy chicanerous shit happen from all sides. But anyway, so you know,
I also wrote, this is my last note of this like first little scene. Scarecrow took his face, but he left those sweet tips.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Because the guy, we like, the girl's running through the woods and she's lost Mr. Tips.
Yeah.
And Holly's like, God, this is freaking me out. And she trips over his body, and we see that the scarecrow's taken off his face skin.
Yeah.
But those frosted tips are still fucking there.
Yeah. Even the scarecrow knew that frosted tips were tacky.
Yeah.
He was, because
He's like, my hair is a matted mess.
Yeah.
It's out in the field all day. I don't get
I've
to
been
take care of
rained on,
it.
I've been shit on by God and birds and God knows what else.
But I do not want those frosted
Yeah.
tips.
do you know what the Scarecrow said to Mr. Tips before he killed him?
What?
What's that?
You deserve to die, those tips are hideous.
Sugar Ray was overrated.
You'll never have a successful musician career because I'm going to kill you right now, but also because you're not very talented. That guy, Mr. Tips, definitely is the guy who brings out the guitar at every party.
Yeah,
People are just like, yeah, I really just want to catch up and talk with my friends.
he was like
And he's like, anyways, here's Wonderwall.
he would be like the guitarist from Animal House singing the song. If I could write you a song, it would have no end. If I gave you a cherry, it would have no stone.
This is the song that never ends.
Pretty much.
It just keeps going on, my friends. Okay, and then let's talk about the conversation that Sam has with his dad.
Yeah.
Because that's an interesting conversation.
It very much is, because what I wrote down for it, I think I mentioned it like talking through the episode. You can see the whole like how John wanted them to just be soldiers.
Yeah.
Because he just acts like a drill sergeant.
Oh
He's
yeah.
like,
He's
I
like,
gave
I'm
you an
giving
order.
an order.
He does.
Do it.
I will say this. This is the nicest thing I will say about John Winchester
Yeah.
for the entire podcast.
At least he called.
Oh no, there's
No.
there's one episode. There's a few things that John does that I can respect, but for the most part,
Yeah.
yeah,
He does try.
yeah,
Because in the beginning, he says, like, I heard about your girlfriend and I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
that's
And that is,
it's a solid dad
kind
move.
of sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for this. He says, I would have done anything to protect you from that. And then I wrote, not kicked you out of the house when you wanted to go to college.
Yeah.
Maybe not have cut off all contact with you and just stalked you for 4 years. like a good dad.
I think.
Oh, whoops.
I hate playing devil's advocate, and I think it's a shitty thing to do, but I think John realized the best thing that he could have done after Sam left was just let him be his own person.
Yeah.
See, I don't think that's why he did it, but we can't get into my theory until we get to
A few away.
we got to get to like mid-season 2, so
Yeah,
It's
like
gonna be a thousand
it's gonna be a
years.
minute. It's gonna be a minute.
It's gonna be April. It's gonna be a pagan harvesting season by the time we get to that episode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's gonna be April when we record it. Who knows when the fuck it's gonna come out?
So we do see like a gradual shift in that conversation where we do see John trying to be like, hey, I want to protect you. I'm doing this because I want you to be safe. I want you and your brother to be safe. He says, like, we can't even talk. It's not even safe for me to talk to you right now.
Yeah.
But then he does shift into, like, son, I gave you an order.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was more like, I gave you an order. Get these names. Find these names. Follow the orders.
And then Dean finally grabs the phone and he's like,
Sir,
yes, sir.
Yeah, sir,
like,
yes,
his
sir.
back straightens and his
I'm pretty sure John
shoulders
said jump
line up.
and Dean's just like, how high?
Yeah.
He gave us our marching orders, and that was to go to bumfuck Indiana.
Left, right, left.
One of my favorite variations of that is you tell me to jump and I ask off of what?
That's good.
That is good.
Have you seen Stripes?
No.
Have you
Wait,
seen...
is that about a racing horse that's
No,
actually a zebra?
No.
Okay, I'm thinking of a different movie.
It's about a zebra who dreams of being a racing horse.
Yeah.
So he paints himself brown.
No, he doesn't paint himself brown. He just becomes a racing horse, and they're like, yeah, it's a fucking zebra. Deal with it.
I was writing a DreamWorks movie, not good enough for Pixar.
We're like AAA off tangent.
We really are.
Yeah. So Pixar movie.
So, but that kind of like forms the basis for Sam and Dean's fight that they have in the car.
Yeah.
And I will say this, normally when they fight about this, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on Sam's side. This is the first time I see both.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sam says something kind of shitty.
Well, it's because I like to believe that Supernatural is just a live action anime.
It absolutely is, yeah.
And
So much so that they made an anime.
literally.
Yeah.
Wait, they did?
Yeah. There's a few seasons of it.
Oh, we'll get there.
Yeah. We'll watch it at some point.
And that's something that I haven't seen any of. I just know it
God.
exists.
Me either. But I like to think that John is like hey, you guys are the superheroes. Y'all need to like serve your purpose and protect people from these monsters.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Get in the fucking robot, Sam.
pretty much.
Yeah, basically. Like, this is what you've been designed to do.
Yeah.
Now do it.
Exactly. It's like Mr. Wily or Dr. Light forcing Mega Man to attack the robot masters.
Yeah. Like, Mega Man, who knows if Mega Man actually wanted to do that?
No, all Mega Man wanted to do was dance.
Yeah. And be a real boy.
Make his
And now
nose go.
we're too far from me. But yeah, Dean and Sam get in the car. They're driving to Burkittsville. And Sam's like, fuck you. No, we're driving to California. Like, we don't have to do what he says. And
Yeah.
Dean's like, yeah, I mean, I get you. And then Sam says, no, you don't. Your mom died when you were 4. Jess died 6 months ago. I am feeling this more right now. And I was like, all right, rude.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little rude, but
Yeah.
also I see his point.
I see his point, but even though, like, it's not as recent, he certainly felt the effects of not having his mom.
Yeah.
You know, his dad went on a crazy vendetta.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
as dads are wont to do when the mothers are viciously murdered in front of them.
Was their mom blonde or did she have brown hair?
She was
She was
blonde.
blonde.
Okay.
Like angel hair, because that was supposed to be an
Oh,
homage.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because that's like a dead anime mom thing. They
Yeah.
all have brown hair.
Yeah, and their children have pink.
Yeah.
And thankfully they avoided that trope for the show. I don't think it'd go over as well in live action.
Yeah.
Not in the West, but out in the Japanese version of the show. I'm kidding.
Can you imagine a live action, like, anime movie for
Of
Supernatural?
Supernatural? Yes,
Which
I
isn't
can.
the show, it's specifically an adaptation from the anime.
I would
God.
love to believe that Dane can shoot a spirit gun, much like Yu Yu Hakusho, but it is like it's powered by salt, so he can shoot ghosts with it. and it affects
Oh my
them.
god.
And then Sam just has the psychic powers.
Kuwabara!
Kuwabara! Yeah! So Dean's power is he sticks his hand in a bucket of water and then sticks his hand in a bucket of salt and then he punches
And then he does
ghosts.
this. He's like, he waves his hand back and forth and is like,
All of this, yes. All of this,
he just furiously waves it back and forth at the ghost.
Now is it rock salt, kosher salt, or iodized salt?
I like to believe that it's rock salt for the guns. However, when they're salting and burning bones, it's kosher.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, because something we haven't seen them do yet, I'm not sure I want to talk
expensive.
about it. They just use the salt with the girl with the umbrella.
Oh, iodine.
Iodine. Or iodized.
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 And they just pour a circle with it because ghosts can't cross that threshold.
Okay.
But yeah.
So it's situational.
Yes.
Gotcha.
It is, yeah. I like to
Because
believe.
iodized salt would make a much better threshold than rock salt or kosher salt.
Well, even grains,
Exactly.
And smaller.
But if you shoot iodized through a shotgun shell, it's not going to
Yeah,
have the
it's
same
just gonna.
punch.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, I think they even say they use rock salt for the...
Yeah, it's full of rock salt.
Yeah.
Because that's basically bird shot at that point.
But yeah. What's the next on the docket?
Let's talk... Do you want to talk about Meg?
Sure. What part of when Sam first meets Meg on the side of the road and she's just got these nice puppy dog eyes, that shortcut hair, and that hot as hell look she's got about herself.
Yeah, she's got that
Some might say she's...
I'm hot in 2005 look.
She's the demon next door.
If they had opened up... if Sam and Meg had opened up their conversation with, did it hurt?
When you rose
What?
from hell.
When you clawed out of hell? I would have been like, yes, I am on board forever. Supernatural is great. I'm watching every episode. Sadly, that didn't happen because that would have just been a little too on the nose, I think, with the foreshadowing.
What
Would
a
have been a
shame.
double rhinoplasty.
I know, right? But, I love Meg. I
She
love the way she talks. I love the way
this-
she smells.
This iteration of Meg is pretty cool. The other one is pretty awesome too.
Did you spoil it?
Isn't that the worst thing we spoiled in this show?
That's
Yeah.
true, it's not. Yes, there are two Megs. And Meg 2.0 is better. But
True.
Meg 1.0 is where it all started.
Wait,
We can
is
also
it the
cut
same
this
Meg?
just to be safe.
It's the same Meg, but it's a different Meg. It's a different
All
Meg.
right, so
You'll see.
yeah,
I've
Should
already
we cut
guessed. I've already guessed who the Meg is.
Yeah,
so.
the second Meg was on screen, Travis was like, Demon!
pretty much.
Demon!
Yeah.
Demon.
Demon! So,
Just everything screamed.
Yeah,
demon.
and
there
then
was
at the end
nothing
when
about
she's-
that situation that didn't.
yeah.
It was just a little too convenient.
Yeah, that how heavy-handed she was with
Yeah, I'm surprised Sam didn't pick up on it.
Sam was like, "Oh, you hate your dad too?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, if somebody came up to me and was like,
We should be besties."
I don't know, I really struggled with what I wanted to do with my life. I mean, I love comedy, but also I think it's important to have a stable life and career and possibly a relationship later. Also, I, really care about my dad, and we have a great relationship, and my younger siblings. And my mom I sometimes feel distant from, but I care about it, and I don't know how to react to that. I would be like, wow, this is eerie how similar we are.
Yeah, did you
That
read a
is
Wikipedia
weird.
page?
Yeah, I was like, did you read, are you God? What's happening?
Are you just a stalker?
I
or
have
what
two
the
younger
fuck?
siblings, a girl and a boy, and I care about them both deeply. Weird. I mean, these are all normal human things, so it's not totally out of left field, but it's like you were sent to stalk me or something.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm way more difficult, because someone would have to walk up and be like, hey, I'm a fully functioning robot. I'm
Yeah.
a synthetic organism.
yeah.
No, here's what somebody would walk up to say to Travis and be like that. They would be like, "Hey, how do you feel about ghosts?"
Yeah!
And Travis would be like, oh my god, we are going to get married.
Yep.
No, Travis would follow that up with "You and I are onion rings," but they would say it at the same time.
Yeah.
You and I are destiny rings.
Oh my god.
It doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
You tried.
I tried hard. And I got so far.
Yeah. And it didn't even matter.
Didn't matter. Nothing really matters.
Mike Shinoda even, no.
But Meg's playing a little heavy-handed.
Dude, those hands were made of cement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
Jesus.
a titch. But she's so goddamn wonderful that I just don't care. I love every minute she's on screen.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that she's finally been introduced. She's one badass bitch.
She is a boss-ass bitch. But it is
She gives her favorite brother some trouble, so...
She do. But Sam, I think it's kind of cool, like, he just does not pick up at any of the, this might be too good to be true.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
he's concerned about Dean.
Yeah, he's too tunnel visioned.
And she's like, no, don't go back to your brother. Stay with me.
Yeah.
I've got someone very important for you to meet in California. I mean, I need to go to California too.
Because, it's like the last...
Good.
It's the last conversation before they're like she gets on the bus.
You're not gonna come to California with me?
Yeah, she's again.
just like, come.
California.
She basically like grabs Sam's hand and is like, "Come with me, if you want to live."
But it's like it's like come and then like a long pause.
With me to California.
Exactly.
A wink. A wink. And Sam's like, "No, I'm gonna go save my brother now.
Going to Birkenstock.
Bye-bye." Yeah.
Why would you tell a stranger, even though you've had like, I don't know, 2 conversations with her over the course of 12 hours, like where you're going? Especially if it's like a bumfuck town where your brother might be dead.
Yeah.
That's just a bad idea.
I will say this. The first time I saw this episode, because I was, young and dumb, I was like, wait, is this going to be like Sam's girlfriend? Why are they...
That's what I thought too. I thought it was going to be her.
It gets set up as like a meet cute. Because there's this moment where they're talking about their families and she basically is like, oh my God, my life story is exactly the same as you. And then she has a moment where she's like, it's crazy what you say to people you hardly know.
Yeah.
And I just expected Sam to turn red and be like, oh my God, me too. This is crazy. But I think the reason why Sam, overlooks her eccentricities is because he must have been hella isolated as a kid.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
He was in college. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, he finally is with somebody who is not... for the first time since Jess, who is not his family, and it's not the brother that he is with literally every second of every day, except when they're I guess, investigating different stuff or in the bathroom, right? And it must be kind of nice to meet somebody who, if you've been isolated for so long, who gets you and has a different, and has a similar life path. This is, because Dean certainly at this point doesn't get Sam.
Yeah.
Their dad definitely doesn't.
God, no.
And Dean does have a moment later in the episode where he and Sam talk, and Dean's like, look, you've always gone on your own way, and I really respect that. I'm really proud of you. And Sam's like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry too, because Dean won't apologize.
Yeah.
Oh, there's also a moment during that conversation
Dean has
where
this manly thing. He's like,
Dean does that thing that men do where they can't express their emotions. They choke
and Sam's like, I know
what you mean.
Also during that conversation, Dean turns to the camera and goes, and I'll definitely remember this lesson and never forget it. Oh, wink. I will never be negatively affected by this. Oh, wink. So that is a very sweet moment, and it's nice to see Sam and Dean relate to each other on that way. But if you didn't have that, and Sam didn't before that conversation, shit, I'd overlook some eccentricities too,
Yeah.
Haven't we all?
Especially since she's not acting like a demon. She's not twirling a mustache and tying a kid to a... Yeah.
It's true.
She saves the stabby throaty
She's not
things
tying
for later.
5 people to one train track and one person to another. and waiting
and
for
going,
a trolley to
Sam,
approach.
pick which way you want the trolley to go.
Do you want the 5 children or the 1 old lady? Which one?
Oh, God, this is a tough decision. Kill the old lady, Sam.
Yeah.
I'd go with the 5 kids. But anyway.
Oh, mean. Oh.
Anywho, but no. I think Meg as a demon understands there is a time and a place for the demonic actions.
Right.
And that's when she's by herself in a shady van.
Exactly.
By herself. I mean, there's a creepy dude that doesn't really count as a person.
Yeah, well,
Good
I mean,
job,
he's
Meg.
dead
We're
after
so
that
proud
anyway.
of you.
Well, probably.
So proud of what you do.
I don't feel bad for the guys in the vans because they're probably registered sex offenders on
Yeah,
some
I mean,
Yeah.
like, they're ready to rape this woman.
I mean,
one of the vans
guys.
you could see where he covered up free candy.
Yeah. They drive a van.
A windowless
And they're
van.
single men.
Hey, we know some single men that drive vans, or at
Do
least
we?
Dave Stone.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's different.
he drives
Yeah.
a minivan. He doesn't drive a cargo.
Is it a minivan?
Yeah, it's a minivan now.
Oh, okay.
Joe Kelly also drives a minivan. Hunter Roberts is currently driving what he is calling the murder van
The murder van?
because his car got stolen.
No way.
Yeah.
Yahweh.
Oh, no.
But the cops recently found it. He found out through a letter that they had found it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That never happens.
Was his stuff still in there?
I don't know.
Oh.
No.
Well, yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Hey, at least it hadn't been, like, pulled apart and torched, which is what happened to a friend of mine's sister in Chattanooga. Yeah, her car got stolen.
Sucks.
Her car got stolen, and then they found it. It had been totally stripped of, like, engines and seats and wheels and everything, and then torched the frame.
What kind of car was it?
I don't fucking know.
Shit. Probably something probably like they needed for like a chop shop.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a Japanese vehicle for sure.
Yeah, those get fucking chopped all the damn time.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yo, dog.
you know who knows a thing or two about cars?
What's that?
Dean Winchester.
Dean Winchester. What's
True.
he know about a car?
A
What's
thing
he,
or two.
What's he drive? A Chevy?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
Chevrolet Impala.
Yeah, Chevy Impala.
Yeah, it's like what a 67?
67? Yeah.
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 Man, I can't wait for like the episodes where the car is a plot device.
Oh, yeah.
Like in and of itself. Oh, dude. Those are the best.
Do you guys... Let's talk about some mythos?
Yeah, let's do it.
rock and roll.
Mythos? Some
Yeah.
myth talk?
With the reappropriation of Norse mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
this
white
one.
on
I'm
white.
gonna be real with you guys. I did most of my research on scapegoats because I forgot the tidbit about the Norse gods.
Yeah.
You mean Google right quick?
No, I got it.
Fair enough.
I looked it up. I just spent a couple of minutes reading some Wikipedia articles.
All right.
So let's get this out of the way. Everything in
and
the
roll.
episode is total bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supernatural.
But they are usually a little more accurate than this.
Well, this is
This one was just like they used a name
Yeah.
and then put an entirely different mythos behind
Here's the
it.
Right.
thing: the producers were like, "We have this awesome idea for an episode.
Yeah.
We're just gonna say it was Norse. Here's
Yeah.
this name we found on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
We're gonna throw this together and see what happens."
Because what they say in the episode is the
Pagan god Veneer.
The scarecrow is a Norse god called the Veneers, which is a god of like harvest and fertility, right?
Yeah.
That's why you always sacrifice in spring because everybody's having babies.
And a couple too.
yeah, and
a young
you
couple.
a male and a woman because a
Heteronormativity.
man and a woman. Yeah, because heterosexuality. Once again, homophobia never sleeps.
Hashtag.
And he will protect the town and bless the crops. And he's in the visage of a scarecrow because that's how the Scandinavians did it, and goddamn it, it's good enough for us. That is not how the Norse myth goes at all. Veneer is actually the name of a class of god that includes Freya, who is Odin's wife,
Yeah.
and Freyr and Njord. So yeah, they were stretching with that. Now that being said, this is kind of an amalgamation of a bunch of like different.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening.
Yeah, I'm not saying that human sacrifice never happened in some pagan traditions.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, what I did most of my research on actually has to do more with some non-pagan traditions.
Yeah.
AKA Judeo-Christian traditions.
Kablamzos.
So we're going to talk about that a little bit.
All right, let's rock and roll.
So I took my cue from the fact that this episode is making some clear references to the lottery, right?
Yeah.
You're killing somebody to, continue the harvest.
Yeah.
Burkittsville is the only town in the area that's, not failing right now because...
Hell, it's thriving. It's
yeah,
not
it's
just barely
doing great.
surviving. Yeah,
And it's got some delicious apple pie.
Yeah.
Some cider that looks like it came
delicious.
from the mouth of the gods.
Hey,
So...
manna from heaven.
human sacrifice has a long tradition in all religions, actually. And we don't think of the early Hebrews as, sacrificing humans, but they probably did.
Yeah.
And we take this cue from the fact that, A, they came out from the Canaanites.
We're also talking about the Passover, too, man.
Well, they didn't sacrifice... Well, and this actually doesn't have... What I'm going to talk about actually has to do more with Yom Kippur.
Okay. Right. Which is New Year?
No, the New Year's Rosh Hashanah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So the Yom Kippur is the Day of Atonement.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
real quick before that, how we know they were probably cool with child sacrifice, right, is the Abraham and Isaac story.
Yeah.
Abraham really doesn't blink twice at sacrificing Isaac.
He's like, oh, you want to kill my son? Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Which could be like, yeah, he really believes in God. Or it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not totally surprised by this.
Yeah. I'm not attached
he was
to
the
him
founder
anyway.
of the religion, so...
Yeah.
But I want to talk about...
Abraham was as attached to his son as his son's foreskin was to himself.
Boo. Boo. Abraham was as attached to his son as John Winchester is attached to his.
Boom.
Hey.
I'm going to put 4 fingers on my nose for that
I know, right?
Yeah.
So I found this interesting Bible verse.
What's that?
And Aaron shall cast lots upon the goat, one for the Lord and the other for Azazel.
Oh, snap.
What?
Leviticus 16:8.
Oh, nice.
Azazel.
He's the guy from Batman.
Yes, he is. But he's also...
It's Azazel.
Boo.
Azazel is the name of a demon, correct? Especially in
He's the name of a... Well... Yeah, so
Not
the
specifically in
the
Supernatural.
religion gets a little murky there.
Yeah.
But yes.
If I'm... Yeah, we're picking... Yeah. Okay. So, continue.
So, what that is in reference to is the idea of scapegoating. The word actually literally has...
It literally
comes
to
from
goats.
goats.
Yeah.
That's not just a cute thing we made up, about animals. We literally based it off the fact that during Yom Kippur... Hebrews would draw lots on it. They'd had 2 goats, and the one that goes to God would be sacrificed, and eaten probably. I don't remember, but the other one would metaphorically get all the involuntary sins of the priests and be sent out into the woods, and that one was for Azazel, which, at least in Christianity, has ties to the devil.
Yep.
Or Satan. We'll talk more on him later.
Or Mark Pellegrino. Anyway.
So, this idea that we sacrifice, we put all of our sins on something and then we scapegoat them out. I mean, that has...
we let the goat escape into the woods to be eaten by Azazel.
No, he doesn't. No.
Well, no, but yes.
He escapes into the forest to get to the casino.
Yes, that's what it is.
Bringing it back to the casinos.
That's where all the sins are.
But this isn't just in.
Oh, but we take all the sins off of all the people and put it on something else.
Right.
Yeah, like a craps table.
Yeah.
Right. This has ties to ancient Syria and ancient Greece, where you would, kill goats to appease gods.
Yeah.
Because again, if the gods are angry, your harvest ain't gonna be doing very well. We're gonna get all your olives grease.
Why is it always goats?
That's a very good question.
Probably because of the term scapegoats. And it was probably...
Well, you wouldn't want to... Well, this was before the term scapegoat.
Because they didn't eat pigs.
Well, the ancient Hebrews didn't.
Yeah, because
Right.
if God is saying that pig is not fit enough for you to eat...
Yeah, it's unclean. You wouldn't want to sacrifice it to God.
I guess
yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah.
And I guess,
Well, why not, go find a bear?
Probably because they live in the desert.
Probably because they have goats. And they don't necessarily have bears.
Yeah, I guess so.
Also the desert thing.
What about,
except for the Greeks.
Yeah, God would be a real asshole if he was like, I require you to sacrifice 10 bears to me every other week.
Well, yeah, that'd make
We'd
it
be
challenging.
like, wow, God, that's...
Like,
dial
wow,
it down,
God
dial it
damn.
back.
God damn, God, that's a bit much.
I'm going to look into that and I will get you an answer. But you have to remember all these religions are kind of feeding off of each other and influence each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Syria Judea, Greece. They're all kind of in around the same time.
Yeah.
In the same area. So, I mean, it's not. I mean, we certainly see Greece influences or like classical mythology influences in Christianity. It's not crazy to think that there's been some crossover before.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially with Syria.
Absolutely.
Especially with Syria. That's where the word comes from, and that's kind of what we see in the episode. We see about it's more the idea of like sacrificing to appease God. I mean, that's not just limited to one religion. We see it with the Aztecs. We see it with the Celts, the Syrians. Certainly, I mean, it's not unheard of in Scandinavian traditions. It just wasn't very common.
Yeah.
And then I also looked into the history of scarecrows.
Yes.
And they've been around since ancient Egypt.
They use those scarecrows to scare the hippopotami, away from the Nile.
I guess so.
Or something like that.
I believe in a thing
And apparently,
called that.
scarecrows in Germanic cultures were made of wood and were fucking weird, man.
Yeah. Did they wear coats and have radishes for heads?
That sounds very
No.
Germanic.
That's the scarecrow from Howl's Moving Castle.
It is.
Yeah.
Which does have some Anglo-Saxon influences.
Yeah.
Because it was written by a British woman.
Mm-hmm.
Made to made to look like witches.
Okay.
And supposedly witch scarecrows would hasten the coming of spring.
Right.
Which is something you'd want in Scandinavia because it's fucking cold up there.
There was something else that I remember. My grandmother had this thing in her kitchen. It was like a little witch. Mm-hmm. It was called like a gack or something. Like a gack.
How do you spell this?
Like GAK.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Are you making a yak joke?
No, I'm not making a yak joke.
All right.
I'm not making a yak joke, I swear.
Sure.
It was called a gack, and the gack is supposed to scare away all the evil things from your kitchen.
Well, if we want to talk about hearth gods and goddesses, we can get into the history of that. There are quite a few.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what
My favorite is the Chinese one. But that's
yeah.
neither here
I
nor
may
there.
be getting this name wrong,
Gack.
but I'm pretty sure it was a gack.
It's
Bud, I don't think the name is Gak.
Oh, also from this website that I'm getting this information from, history because it's here.weebly.com, which I'm not completely convinced of the veracity of, because this is the website that said that Aphrodite, in ancient Greece, people would make scarecrows look like Aphrodite because she was ugly, where she was famously rather not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was the exact opposite.
Yeah, I mean, is she our standard of beauty? Probably not. It was, thousands of years ago, but she certainly wasn't hideous to
or
the
horrid.
Greeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also
believe-
said they made scarecrows to look like Dionysus, which I'm willing to believe a lot more
Yeah.
because he's ugly than...
Well, he was a party animal. I mean, that's a rough life.
Well,
man.
he used to have these women follow him around, and they would get drunk and tear men to pieces.
It's true.
So I wouldn't want to be a bird and get around that.
It's also true.
But it also, in medieval Britain, young boys and girls were used as live scarecrows or bird scarers. They would patrol the fields of crops and scare away birds by waving their arms or throwing stones, which is kind of amazing. Can you imagine just going around and be like, hey, get out of here, bird. Fly away. Shoo. I'm in medieval Britain. Get out of here.
Yeah.
My life is terrible. I'm dying.
Wouldn't be surprised if the kids were chasing the birds to try and eat them.
Yeah.
So yeah, supernatural. Totally wrong as far as like what the veneer are and the scarecrow connections.
Yeah.
I think
But it's fine. It didn't distract from my enjoyment of the
Yeah,
episode.
I mean,
so.
because I'm sure they were like, who the fuck knows what that is? Let's use it.
It's funny as hell about how like laissez-faire we are with this episode, and it gets, as we've just discussed, nothing right with the mythology.
Yeah.
But looking back on Bugs, which just took a shit on mythology. in
See,
and of
I think
itself.
that's the difference, though, is that they made this... It just felt more organic and
Yeah.
more believable.
Well, yeah, because they didn't have what they runs with exposition characters.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, are there some ancient runes carved on a tree?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that was cool because they had to find the tree to burn it,
Uh-huh.
and there are these like runes carved on it.
Like, so I think that's the tree.
Yeah.
I mean, Bugs was, even though there's not a mythological, like, in Native American,
Yeah.
at least not what I could find, and again, I didn't do, like, the most extensive research.
We were drinking pretty hard that night.
We were.
Yeah.
But, I will say, like, the whole, like, trope has been around in our mythology for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
In, like, this sort of white American, we settled the West mythology. So, it did get it right as far as that goes.
Yeah.
That's not the problem I have with it. The problem is that it's
Just
lazy.
Yeah.
At least this is, I mean, they're
Like-
wrong, but it's sure as hell
like-
inventive.
Like this
Yeah.
was it. Like looking back on it, very much the story was thrown together. But that being said, it just works.
Yeah, and like I think it has to do with the story being good.
Yeah.
Because they literally could have called it the Creeper.
Yeah.
And it would have been the same.
And what is it? I mean, it did have influences from, like other things, like the lottery,
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers, mythological traditions. I mean,
Yeah.
the Scarecrow is kind of new, but it's not totally without question that, we do see influences here. And that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. The point is that it's not hacky.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did
for
some
sure.
work. They didn't do
Yeah.
no work. They were like, oh, what's a Native American thing? This? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a lot more like, you know what, we're going to...
What do nature? Bugs? Cool.
Are bugs in nature?
This
I
one,
guess.
they at least like read the first couple of paragraphs of the Wikipedia page.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
This one, or like maybe like the first couple of lines.
I
of
mean,
the
they
first
knew enough
paragraph.
about Norse mythology to know what the veneer are, so...
Yeah. But yeah,
It doesn't, for something to be enjoyable, and I'm going to use a Disney movie as an example,
Fair enough.
Hades
Yeah.
in Hercules is not accurate to the mythology.
That's true.
Hades in the myth is fine. I mean, he's an ancient Greek god, so he does kidnap a woman, but like compared to his brothers, it's just one woman. And they seem to actually have a relationship, which is more than I can say for Zeus and any of his conquests.
Yeah.
Or Poseidon or any of his.
Also true.
I mean, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying for the time, it's like Hades was not that bad.
Yeah.
But God, would that movie have been enjoyable if James Woods wasn't James Wooding it all over the place? So it doesn't matter that it's not accurate. I don't care about that.
How are you gonna stop James Woods from James Wooding?
You can't.
How many woods would a James Woods if a James Woods?
So,
You lost me.
what you got next in your notes?
Actually, I'm done.
Oh, I wanted to say the kitchen witch thing. It is a thing. I don't know where my grandmother got the name Yak from.
Maybe
Okay.
that's just what she called.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what she called it, but the kitchen witch is a thing. It's like a Norwegian Germanic thing.
Okay.
Where they hang the witch in their kitchen, and it usually has some kind of sign on it that says like, "This is the good kitchen witch, and she has the power to keep the things from burning and spilling and all that stuff."
Did your grandmother speak with an accent?
No.
Try J-A-K for me, since you were. And I got some trivia pulled up for this episode. I can run through.
Let's go through it while Travis looks up that.
Okay. First short one. This is the first episode to feature the title of the episode on screen.
Oh, really?
I don't think that's right.
No,
we
I
did
think.
see Scarecrow
Yeah, I
on
think it is.
screen.
It
Yeah.
said Scarecrow in quotes.
I just haven't
but
seen it.
I remember seeing home and bugs and stuff like that in like quotes before the episode starts.
Yeah, no, I don't.
We'll look at it after.
I don't think
Okay.
it did.
Interesting.
All right. The college professor that Dean meets with William B. is the college professor that Dean meets with is William B. Davis, better known as the smoking man from the show The X-Files.
Oh, shit.
Supernatural is said to take some inspiration from this show and has several nods to it throughout the season.
Wait.
Some inspiration.
Some. It had a few writers from the show on it, I
Yeah.
believe.
So, not a whole lot of references.
The plot is heavily reminiscent of Neil Gaiman's novel American Gods. Show creator Eric Kripke has cited Neil Gaiman and American Gods as influences for the show.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
After getting the call from their father, Sam and Dean are having a discussion about where they're going next. Sam says, "We're going to California. Going to California is a Led Zeppelin song. This foreshadows Dean later using the name of John Bonham, the late drummer of Led Zeppelin, when he meets Scotty in town.
Gotcha.
And Scotty
That
does
was
know
the Led
Led
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin.
Gotcha.
Did you find anything for JAK?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I will also say, going back to the American Gods thing real quick, because, I picked that up as an influence, but I didn't mention it. In American Gods, there's this big idea that, like, your belief gives the god power.
Yeah, that's a big thing in The Hogfather, too. Terry Pratchett's Hogfather.
Yeah, it's almost like they were friends.
Yeah.
So, anyways, and in this episode, Dean says, isn't it possible that some of these immigrants took their gods over with them? You know, like the Puritans.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's some American Gods bullshit right there. Sounds like something an American God would say.
Yeah.
So, and that is a thing that gets brought up later, because we meet more pagan gods.
Nice.
This is not the end. This is not the end of the pagan god train.
Honestly, I wish that pagan wasn't such an umbrella term for non-major world religion.
Or non-Judeo-Christian.
Non-Judeo-Christian.
Well, because it's just a catch-all used in churches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Like, if something is something, call it what it is. Don't just use a weird umbrella term.
It would be like if we, because you know how we refer to, like, it would be like if we referred to non-alcoholic drinks as non-alcoholic drinks exclusively and never mentioned the difference between water and milk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, I would like a non-alcoholic drink. All right, why did you hand me a glass of lemonade?
Yeah, well, technically it's correct.
I wanted water.
No, I wanted the one that came from the Aztecs. Yeah. You know, hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
The scene in which the townspeople stand under umbrellas discussing the necessity of a sacrifice plays homage to the X-Files episode Die Hand Die Verlext. It's that last word is spelled Verletzzt.
It's a weird German word.
Yeah. Which
You're a weird German word.
Which has a similar plot.
Statistically speaking, I'm not.
Kim Manners and John Shibben, a director and teleplay writer of this episode, also both worked extensively on the X-Files.
And Kim Manners she directed a lot of the Supernatural episodes.
Very true.
Oh, I have one more thing I want to bring up. I forgot about this.
What's that?
What you got?
So, Miss Lamb, the niece, she is being sacrificed, and she doesn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
So, they're putting her and Dean in the cellar. Dean's already there, and it opens, and they throw her in there, and she's like, please don't sacrifice me. Also, her aunt basically quotes Spock, how dare she?
Yeah.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. Fuck you. Don't bring Star Trek into this, but that's neither here nor there.
Those would be Spock's dying words from the classic sci-fi movie Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
Nice.
Released in 1982.
You son of a biscuit.
You biatch.
But, what conversation were they having with their niece where they were like, hey, sorry, we need to give you up to our living pagan scarecrow god. He's gonna kill you.
It probably went exactly like that. And she was like, what? And then the sheriff comes in and hits her in the head with a shotgun.
Yeah, I guess. Can you imagine, though, having to be the one to have that conversation?
Yeah.
And just be like, sorry, honey, I don't know what to tell you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
See, that's why you have a lottery, and that way no one has any say in the matter.
Thank you. Why don't they take more tips from Shirley Jackson? God, clearly she knew how to run this show. Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's the end of my notes, and
that's pretty much the last interesting thing I found on these IMDb things. They do a body count.
Oh, yeah?
Do you remember how many people died this episode?
2, 4, 6, 8.
No, you're over.
Damn it.
6.
Good guess. 5.
5?
Wait, who was the what?
Well, you've got
the first 2.
Frosted Tips and Holly.
Oh, I forgot. Frosted Tips and Holly.
Frosted Tips and Holly. Then the aunt and uncle. And then Dude in the Van.
Yep.
I was counting their past sacrifices.
past sacrifices.
Yes. So the people who've also died in the town who got mentioned.
Yeah, well, those don't count.
So they had
Yeah,
two.
no, body count on screen.
Oh, okay, so Frosted Tips and Holly,
Aunt and Uncle,
and Uncle,
and then Dude in the Van.
Dude in the Van.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 5.
Yep.
I miscounted. That's 5.
Yeah.
Technically 6 because of the other dude in the other van.
Who
But you
probably
don't get to see
died.
him.
Yeah, but it's
like on
it's
screen.
ambiguous.
Yeah, on screen body count.
He
Got
could
it.
be alive, creeping people out forever.
Yeah, maybe.
To the end of time.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Well, the next episode
What's the next episode?
is called Faith.
Is it?
Tell me what it's about.
Yeah.
Sam and Dean go to a new city, and they find out that there is a concert hall that is being haunted.
Go on. Ooh.
And they go to the haunted concert hall.
Yeah.
And they deal with the haunted thing, all while it's all going on during a
George.
it's all going on during a George Michael's concert.
No. Close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of his band first. Wham? Wham, yeah. So it was going on during a Wham concert.
No, you're forgetting. That's not how you pronounce it.
Wham! Wham! Oh, that's right. There's an exclamation
Oh,
point.
it is George Michael, but it's not George Michael's. Which is
Yeah,
what he
George
said.
Michael. Whatever.
Well, he was using the possessive.
Yeah, it's a George Michael's
Good
concert.
point. All right, I retract my close but no cigar.
But yeah, so that's what happens.
I guess it's plausible.
I mean, yeah. Well, if that's the case, we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you for listening.
And until next time.
Have fun and don't die.
Don't let us do it. But it's still a good idea. No, I'm just fucking with you.
I know. I'm fucking right back.
We're fucking each other.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a power bottom that fucks back.
I'm glad that you've taken the role of power bottom because I'm only on top, baby.